Hello everyone, welcome. I'm RxOliver and these are my friends and we're playing Call of Cthulhu. This is Phantom Hooves. I'm here tonight with Martin, Brian,
Hello.
and the keeper is Birdie. Good evening everyone. Take it away, Birdie.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to the Wild West, one of my favorite places. We are in 1890s Arizona, so guess what's not here? Electricity. Don't have to deal with any of that. What we do have, though, is a small little town called Shepherd Junction. It's just trying to get by. It's in the northeast of Arizona for anybody that cares, but it is a spot where a lot of settlers will pass through on their way over to the Great West. It is pretty deep into Hopi and Navajo territory. That being said, thankfully, everybody's pretty cool with each other. The settlers at Shepherd Junction, they're good, hardworking folk, which is why the animal deaths that have been happening lately have been so upsetting. A couple ranches have suffered several losses. It was a strange occurrence. And at this point in time, people are getting a little bit scared and they're asking now for help. So they're reaching out to anybody that can try to figure out what has been killing cattle, sheep, and horses. And that's where we have our friends today. One of the first people called upon, he's local to the land. He's actually Hopi. And he's been helping out these settlers for a while now. So they figure, hey, if anybody can track down a predator, it's going to be this guy. John, can you go ahead and describe yourself?
I am a Hopi warrior who protects the tribe lands and my primary concern is the beast people and dealing with that while keeping things I guess not letting on too much of the tribe's secrets. So.
All right. When the settlers first came over to Shepherd Junction, there was a lot of apprehension, especially for you and your tribe, just because as settlers do, they immediately began to spread out a little bit. However, they have shown a great interest in just kind of working their way into the land and being part of the land itself, just like your people are. So you've been helping out with certain things, helping them understand where it's best for their animals to eat, where it's not best, helping find the wayward traveler that gets a little bit lost out in the desert, which is very easy to do. So when the sheriff sends for you, it's not a big thing. You think, oh, maybe somebody got lost again, maybe they need help finding something again. It's not uncommon for you to work with a certain man, James Caldwell. He's proprietor here.
Maybe he'll trade for some more bullets.
There you go. He's a good person to trade with. He seems to have a lot of sway with these people here. He has this thing that they like called money. You keep an eye on James, just because if anyone's going to start bringing more of the white man over here, it'll be James. Mr. Caldwell, you have sunk so many monies into this land, trying to make this a proper town. Maybe you can get the railroad through here, really make business booming. All of this unsightly business of sheep being ripped apart in the middle of the night, it's bad for business. So you actually told the sheriff that something needs to get done. But James, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, please?
Sure. Yeah, I'm James Cardwell. I'm the proprietor, so I don't own the place, but I pretty much run it. Reasonably, I'm pretty wealthy though, you know. Yeah, but I'm still kind of a nice guy. I just really want the town to prosper, so I want everyone in the town to prosper. Yeah, and that's kind of my thing. And I've decided that my gun is called Bluebell because that's where I'm from. So Old Blue is the name of my gun.
Old Blue, you never really have to use her, but people know that you are willing to if it gets tough. But you never have to worry about that because there's already a gal in town that can handle all the tough stuff. She can be a little rough sometimes. Not necessarily a friend of yours, but she gets the job done when she's paid to. As a lone jet black horse comes sauntering into town, astride it is I don't want to use the word grumpy, but stern-looking woman who's eyeing people as she walks through. They all know who she is. Ruthless. Ruth McGarner, can you please give us a description of yourself and your plans on solving this mess?
Ruth is clad in a well-worn leather duster and sturdy boots. She embodies the rugged resilience of the era. A skilled horsewoman, she commands her trusty steed, a sleek black mare named Midnight. Ruthless Ruth McGarner has carved out a space for herself as a cattle wrangler and sometimes bounty hunter. Basically, Ruth is a woman who gets things done. If you've got a problem that needs solved, Ruth's the kind of woman that can solve a problem. Ruth is also part Hopi. She is 1/8 on her mother's side, Hopi actually. She's very in tune with the land and she's always put that down to her Native American roots. She has a way of knowing the land and using it to her advantage to help her get things done. So people know that about her, and she's called upon in times of need. In times of need of someone who can get something done no matter what, I'm that kind of woman.
Now, Ruth, one thing that is new to you is the presence of this gentleman right here. This is Marshall Bass Reeves. You've heard of him. He's never been around your parts before. Bass Reeves. Fun fact, everybody out there, one of the first black marshals.
That is quite the mustache. I am impressed.
Oh, yeah. Keeps the dust out of his nose. But to have a marshal here is a big thing. Ruth, it impresses upon you the seriousness of the situation. James, doesn't really look good politically for your town to have a marshal up here because something bad is happening. Blackhawk, you don't really interact with marshals, so this is interesting. You understand that they're lawmen, but that really means nothing for you and your people. It's not your laws that they're enforcing. So to have this man here is very intriguing. And the sheriffs, Christopher and Christopher, it's two different guys. They're both named Christopher, but they've already updated him on what's going on, which honestly isn't a whole lot. So there's a couple of farms and ranches around Shepherd Junction. You got Wilson's ranch. He deals with horses. He's a little touched, so people tend to not interact with him. You have the Turner Ranch. Jebediah and Maybell, they have sheep, pretty good, hardworking people, and you have the Spritz Ranch. Now, the Spritz Ranch is no more. It has been decimated. They thought maybe coyotes, maybe a lone wolf was getting to their herd of goats. But the kills looked so strange. Some of the animals looked very traditional. You know, the abdomen's just eviscerated, completely eaten up. But then many of the others looked, for lack of a better description, like they were turned inside out. All of the parts were there, just on the wrong side of the skin. And they have no idea what happened. They started off with 50 goats, went down to 30. When they got down to their last 10, the Spritzes went, nope. Took the last of their goats and they left. And people had no idea what was going on. And then it started happening to Turner and Wilson. And that's why Marshall Reeves was called in. So he just wants you to go investigate, see what's going on, to figure out what is doing this. Person or creature, either or, it's going to get put down. Ruth, don't worry, lass, you're being paid for this.
Good.
Blackhawk, Your people have never heard of this before. Whatever bad spirit this is, you don't want it coming around to your territory. And Caldwell, once again, you sank a lot of money into this. You don't want this thing here either. So you three are very, very well motivated to go and figure this out. Now, Wilson and Turner, they're currently out there at ranches right now attempting to watch over their flocks. Is there any particular ranch you'd like to go to first?
I mean, are we coming in from this side where the tokens are? If so, then Wilson's because it's closer, but or are we in town? Shepherd Junction.
I'd rather look at Spritz since that's the one that's disappeared.
Are we in Shepherd Junction? Is that where we're starting?
You're currently in Shepherd Junction. Would you like to see a map of Shepherd?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Always more maps the better. Ooh.
Nice.
Shepherd Junction is a tiny town, as are most of the towns out here. Your
Why are
closest
you
town.
planting trees with no leaves?
These are weird people, John. These are weird people.
Maybe it's supposed to keep the creature away.
So, John, what you've been told is they use these odd trees to communicate to more people back east.
Oh, he's talking about the phone lines.
Which is interesting.
They don't just wave blankets.
It's modern magic, John. Modern white man magic. I can't even begin to explain how it works.
Should we be worried about White's hardware and supply? It doesn't sound very welcoming to some people in the group. Is it that type of issue?
I think it's more like the
What,
guy's.
Billy White?
I think it's more like the guy's name's White than White's only, Martin.
I mean,
yeah, I think it's just his name, mate.
Yeah, so Billy White.
I'm going to ask
also...
him. I'm going to ask Billy White's not a good man. We don't like him.
Well, so here's the thing. Billy White, a.k.a. Cheng Su.
Bobby Black.
That is his hardware store. People cannot pronounce his name, so he chose Billy White instead to be his name.
Oh, that's more funny then. He's probably the least racist person there. Okay, that's funny.
When he was coming in San Francisco, they asked him what his name was. He said same team, so they wrote down the guy's name before him.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, Martin, just so you're aware, your character, every single building here has gotten a loan from you. So everybody here has borrowed money from you. Most of them have paid you back. But as far as getting supplies and stuff, not difficult for you.
Sweet.
Same thing
I guess
with horses.
I was gonna say, have we all got a horse? Or
I do.
because we're probably gonna need you go on. I don't think I got a horse, but I think I could get one.
You've got money, you can get a horse, mate. It's no problem for you.
Well, I'll get one for everyone if they need it. Yeah, whoever needs one.
I need I need a horse.
Sure. Yeah.
Shoo.
I'll get us
You
some
wait for me
horses
over
from
there.
there.
No, it's a good call, John.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring your own horse into this mess. You have no idea what little demons out here.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to a
Kind of
new horse, to a free new horse, an extra horse. Like,
It's not
you wanna...
free, it's just we're borrowing the horses. I'm not buying you a horse.
Well, there's no
There
need
are
then, because
horses for rent.
I have a perfectly
Yeah.
good horse. There's no need to rent me a horse. I've got a perfectly good horse.
Yeah.
If you're buying horses, I'll take one. Like,
No.
I'll take a spare horse.
Yeah, all right. At the stable, at the hotel stable, there are horses that you can definitely rent.
Some horses, because you guys are pussies and won't use your own horses.
I am using my own horse. I'm golden, mate.
yeah.
I don't need you to rent me no horse. If you're getting around it and buying some horses, I'll take one. Like,
No, I'm not. No, I mean, my horse is going to be called Thunderbolt because it's got a little white Thunderbolt. I've got like the best horse, and they have like, you know.
I mean, that's a good name for a horse, and it's a fine-looking horse.
Yes.
Only the best for you, Mr. Caldwell, of course. Well, that money,
mean-
Mr. Moneybags Caldwell, as they call you. Could you be taking us
Yeah,
for a
but-
drink before we go and see any of these?
You guys could have the equivalent of a
ranches.
Kia, like if you went to get a car. Like It's okay, and it gets you
I've-
where
Your
you're
mate,
going,
donkeys?
but,
I've got the equivalent of a
Yeah.
Lamborghini. Midnight is the equivalent of a Lamborghini. This horse I've got. Don't you even talk to me about horses. Just because you've got money, you can buy a horse. You can't get no horse like
Yep.
Midnight. Midnight's got breeding and training and tradition and all sorts of things that money can't buy. Don't you worry about me and a horse. I've got a good horse.
James laughs at you. He's like, "Yeah, I've got breeding and training, so I'm fine. But I'm glad your horse has got breeding and training."
I hate
Um,
you.
So
Anyway.
also just for note, the buildings that you see here, many of these, if not actually no, all of them, are businesses. The owners live in the buildings as well. So there is no like little neighborhood of houses. Like this is it for Shepherd Junction.
Yeah, the house is upstairs in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could actually
Oh.
go to one of the shops and just see if anyone's heard anything about what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know more than what you've said, right? We just
Should
know
we
what
hit-
you've told us about the marshals here. So we could hit like at least a couple of shops. Like, what about
Number-
going to like the
The
tavern or the
Yeah, should we
the
hit number
general
14,
store or
George's Saloon?
something?
You
Yeah.
go to everybody
mean,
loves George's.
Obviously, you're going to buy us equipment as well at the general store, but we can go to the saloon for a few cocktails first.
Sure.
Sure, you love buying.
Yeah,
already,
you can
I think.
absolutely go to the saloon. Okay, into George's Saloon. There's technically 2 saloons here. Everybody goes to George's Saloon though because he has something a little bit extra. He has a agreement
Hookers.
with the Desert Rose. Well, he has an agreement with the Desert Rose, and they share their ladies over at George's.
I knew it was going to be
George's
hookers.
guy.
You're a pervert, Birdie. I knew it was going to be hookers.
So, or only played that ditty once.
Are they also the closest one to the bathhouse?
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
wee bit loud. Turn that one down a wee bit.
Yep. You guys walk in there, Ruth,
Hang on.
the ladies,
Hang on.
immediately. I'll
Turn
give you a
the
wink.
track down just a wee bit, Birdie. That's slightly too loud. Here we go.
There we go.
Much better. Thank you.
I try
Sorry.
to like match the ticks up. But
Sorry
they
to
never
interrupt
seem
you.
to- Oh, you're fine. We're gonna get this perfect one day. But as you go ahead and walk into that saloon, Ruth, all the ladies give you a smile, give you a wink. They love a gal that gets business done. Caldwell, big spender.
Oh, the ladies love him
and
as
then-
well.
Blackhawk, they can never get you. You have just been the target for all of these women because they are damned if they don't get at least one of you into bed.
You know what they say about Black Hawk? Black Hawk is big cock.
Well, Blackhawk, already being aware of the notoriety he's gained in here by just being himself, very quickly enters and just moves around the side of the wall where he won't be seen, quickly going behind a table that has a group of cattle handlers.
Well, you've
Just
been
sitting around
stealthy, are you?
Yeah, they have to go through them, and the cattle handlers are all gonna get handsy with them.
They don't even notice yet because they've seen James walk in, so of course he has to get the hello from everybody. In fact, George immediately comes over to you, James. He clocks you, walks over. Ruth, you'll notice that George gives you a smile, but he wisely gives you some space. He does not enter your bubble, so to say. But George, he just walks over. Jimmy, what can I do you for?
Yeah, just we're just having a quick. I guess is it morning? I'm guessing lunchtime. I don't know. Morning.
Yeah, it's mid-morning.
We'll have some breakfast beers. Yeah, and like I'll make some small talk with him, but I'm gonna see if he's like. So have you heard any? Has anyone been saying they've had any problems at the local ranches? I just got some business going. I thought you might know with everyone comes in here at some point.
There's a distinct pause in all conversations in the music as everybody kind of just tries to very discreetly now listen to what's about to be said
No.
as you've just opened up the topic that everyone's been talking about. George pauses. He looks around really fast, and people immediately go back to they go back to what they were doing, but everybody's listening.
Is there a piano player?
Yeah, it just.
I go and tip him to play something quite noisy so that I can't be overheard as well. So they're gonna have to listen to whatever the current music is.
George does clarify when you said we. He looks over to Ruth and he's like, "We."
I mean, you don't need to know the we. I need to know what you know. You don't worry yourself with those things.
You know me, Georgie. I like to take care of business, and I'm here with Mr. Caldwell, the businessman, to take care of some business. Don't worry about me and we're just on business.
Oh, I'm watching all the girls get jealous.
You see, George, his eyebrows go up. He's like, "They called in Miss McGarner. They called you in." Okay.
Well, a lot of people seem to be worried about. It's not just cattle getting eaten by coyotes or something normal. It's
Stealing the lips.
they're being turned inside out. It's
like I'll give her a quick jab. I'll be like, we don't know what's going on. We're going to check things out. Wouldn't want to cause a disturbance in my town, miss.
everybody knows about what's going on.
I'll tell you what, everybody knows, but nobody knows nothing.
Yeah, no one
Checking
knows.
with the Callahan's, okay.
So, do I listen, or is that going to be a psychology?
No, you can do a listen roll if you're gonna try and eavesdrop on them.
Why am I rolling 4 dice?
It seems to do that with Call of Cthulhu when you've got the 3D dice on it. Rolls the dice twice. It only rolls
counted
once
one
in
of them,
terms
so-
of only gives you only counts one, but it seems to roll double dice for some reason.
I think it just likes to be dramatic.
It's just roll
Very
twice.
dramatic,
Don't worry
right?
about it.
But so James, George immediately brings you over a big glass of water. He's just waiting to see anything else you want. He's also the bartender here, but everybody's very, very importantly not bothering him since you've walked in. They understand that this is actually important.
I want one of them
So
cow
they're just-
pies. You know, like Desperate Dan has. It's just a pie with 2 horns on it. It's a cow pie. The big fucking thing about your size with 2 horns. I want one of them. And some
They
whiskey.
bring in a baby cow.
I don't care if it's 9 in the morning.
Whis- No, they got whiskey. Don't worry.
Good.
That's they have cactus whiskey.
Good.
So
Yucca juice?
actually, I'm sorry. I just realized cactus whiskey is pretty close to tequila. I just realized that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting them
Cactus
breakfast
whiskey.
bits. I'm not getting them wasted. I ain't buying them food. I mean,
I mean,
You
it's
can have
it's
some
it's
light
the old
bit
Wild West. You need a wee bit lining on your stomach.
no.
I'm gonna let you know right now.
Good for the
Ruth
constitution.
McGarner. She never has to roll Constitution when she drinks.
Nah.
I'm gonna say the
Yeah,
lady will
she has
have a
to do.
salad. Chrissy's got to do some riding later. Don't want to weighing the whole thing
She'll
down.
sweat it out. She'll sweat it out. That's why it's okay to drink out in the Southwest. You just sweat it out.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to.
Anyway, back to
Yes.
business. So what? Stop trying to upsell people pies and stuff. So what do you know?
But you like
I'll
shake
hate
his
to
head.
call that.
So-
I'll hate to call that loan back in with the new interest.
Well, so he does say that all he's heard, because that is one thing that George is good for, is hearing a bunch of stuff. The Spritzes actually did come through town before they were leaving. By the time they made it, they only had 7 goats. They said that they lost a couple of coyotes. I thought really brave out of nowhere, but tried to get as much as he could from them. You know, he gave some free room and board just to try to help them out, but they said that they were just going to keep going a little bit further west, just try to get out of the area. And he just asked, he's like, "Hey, coyotes, wolf, what are you thinking about?" And Carl Spritz, he was oddly tight-lipped. The Spritzes are very, very friendly people. There's actually a number of townsfolk that were slightly worried about them being out away from the town, because all of the ranches are a solid half day's ride away. But Carl was oddly tight-lipped. That being said, Carl Jr., who's 5 years old, was not. He made it very clear that the thing in the goat's tummies kept hurting the goats. Now, his mom, Mary Beth, she tried to kind of wave it off, but she just simply said that the goats were sick. And that's the best that they can figure from that. James, can you please give me a psychology roll?
Yes.
Okay, I need to roll really fast.
Ooh,
All right. Would you like to push it, spend luck, or let it ride?
I might push it. I'm not going to spend luck yet. I'll push it.
Go ahead and push. How do you push it? It's what do you do to kind of get up?
Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out what he's saying, right, about the information. I guess I might maybe more forceful, but I guess he might really climb up, you know, if I am too harsh on him. Yeah. So I'm really pushing him to like give me everything he knows and see if I can observe it. Yay! That was worth the extra success.
Whoa!
Like, piece it all together.
You have your water, and you just kind of lean in really close.
Yeah, done, finished.
New records.
Right now, George is still speaking as if he's just kind of gossiping. You lean in, like an inch away from his nose, and you kind of just repeat, "What exactly did they tell you?" And you see George has realized that he has miscalculated with how much information he was supposed to withhold. He gestures for you to come to one of the back rooms. Ruth, you're more than welcome to follow.
Oh, I'll be
as
going.
you start to head towards the back.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Now,
Like, yeah, let's go and get that pie that you wanted, Ruthie.
now, Blackhawk, you can see all of this happening. Your ears are kind of
Yeah.
split. You're listening between this group here, and you're watching them.
Did the cattle hands have anything interesting to say?
Well, they are also eavesdropping on this conversation. The phone's only so big, but you can see that they are visibly reacting to what George is saying. They're not really hiding their facial features very well, so you can get a good read on like this guy.
This is all news to them.
No. They're aware of what's happening, but the way that George is talking, they're kind of like looking at each other like over their hands, like. And you hear one of them just say, "The illness my ass." And he's like, "I saw one of them goats."
I'm gonna get up and follow.
You get the distinct impression from the cattle hands that whatever happened at the Spritzes was pretty horrifying and had nothing to do with anything that was natural. So,
Right.
no one stops you as you walk through, by the way.
Would natural world in my culture be a little bit more expanded than just the natural than that? I'm asking because there is a cult, but I don't have a very high occult, but I have a very high natural world. Would I have would that expand into some supernatural?
No,
Yes,
because
it
that's
would. If
not
you wanted to
natural,
utilize
that's
natural
supernatural.
world. Well, so your natural world would help to eliminate certain things. So, for instance, you understand the attack methods of predators. You understand bite patterns. You understand what natural looks like. So, if it doesn't look natural, then you understand it's not natural.
Supernatural doesn't count
Use
as
it as an
natural. By definition, it's supernatural, so it's not natural. Anything supernatural would fall under a cult, and anything else is natural.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could use it as an elimination tool.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue to listen before I make my roll.
Okay. You hear one of the hands just say like, "I saw one of them goats." I'll tell you what. It looked like somebody stuck dynamite down his gullet, blew his stomach open. Its bones were. And he shakes his head, and you hear the guy like, "His bones were what?" It's like, "I don't know. His bones. It looked like somebody took his bones apart and tried to put them back together, but they was wrong." And you see the other Callahans were just like, "What?" It's like, "I don't know how else to describe it." He starts to get a little bit loud before he looks around and quiets down.
Yeah, I'll
No,
follow.
you're hitting pretty well.
I'll follow into the other room.
You go into the other room. All right, so now it's just the four of you. I can count. Now it's just the four of you. George closes the door, and he just goes, "All right, listen. Just don't repeat this, okay? Just for Carl Jr.'s sake." I was talking with him. Like I said, Carl wasn't saying much. He was pretty tight-lipped. Mary Beth, kind of dancing around the topic, but then all of a sudden, Carl Jr. just talks about something in the goat's tummy. So of course I'm thinking like, oh no, we got blight, we got something else happening with these goats. What's going on? And the way the parents just reacted, it was odd. They acted like the boy spoke about the devil or something. Immediately shushed him up. I thought Carl was going to knock his kid's head off his shoulders. And then they just looked at me and they were like, "Don't repeat anything." To which, of course, I said, "You got to tell me everything. Otherwise, how do I know what not to repeat?" Got a little bit more information out of him. And he just goes, "James, I really do appreciate your patronage here. There's been a leak in the roof. I think like $5 would really cover it. But if we could just get a little bit of money just to help out with that leak, that'd be nice." And he kind of like pauses a little bit.
Surely bless the man, James. $5 isn't much to yourself.
I think back then that was quite a lot of money, right? That was like
Yeah, but
reasonable
not to
money back
you.
then.
Probably about 2 months worth
So,
of salary.
so
Yeah.
George owes you $250. So.
So what's another 5 between
Yeah.
friends?
I mean, I'm gonna put it in my hand, but I'm still asking him for more. I'm like, you must know a bit more than that. Like, I mean, so if you want that big hole fixed, I mean.
Of course. I just figure I just bring it up. Because I know that you're a godly man. So thank you so much for
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Nah, I'm still holding it. I'm like,
Thank you so much.
no. Like, just you keep talking, and then maybe my
I'll
hand
say,
will drop it.
Ruth and Blackhawk, you get the sense watching this interaction that this is normally how George gives information to James. He'll usually say a little something and then wait for money to appear.
Yeah.
But George just says, that's when the Spritzes kind of spilled it all. They said the first time it happened, they thought it was thieves. They thought it was cattle rustlers, somebody trying to put the squeeze on them. They came out, and in the middle of the herd, they found a goat. Looked like he'd been split from sternum. So he said from sternum to taint, essentially. And all of the organs hadn't just spilled out or been pulled out. It looked like they had erupted out of this creature. And the spine and the ribs were all inverted. They assumed it was a person that did this. They thought maybe somebody had come around and was trying to scare them off their land. So, Carl Spritz, he put out a watch. He and his wife took turns watching the herd. The one thing that was so odd to them was that the goats didn't seem bothered. Like, this thing was in the middle of the herd. So they kept watching. Never saw any people, but they kept finding more and more goats like this. Always just one at a time, which was so confounding. They never heard anything. The goats never screamed. The goats never seemed upset. And Mrs. Spritz, she even pipes up that at one point in time, she thought that there may have been something in the pen because the goats were stirring. They were all walking around in a circle, which she had never seen before. She thought maybe they were following after something that was in the pen, just because goats are very curious. But when she went out there, she didn't see anything. Now, she did fall asleep that night, and in the morning, another goat had died. And it just kept repeating. Eventually, it started to slow down a bit. So instead of every night, every other night, then every 3 nights. And eventually it got down to 1 a week. But by then, they were so concerned about what was happening. They didn't care. Never saw coyotes, never saw buzzards, never saw any large cats. Big thing, never saw people. They cannot figure out what happened. And that spooked them more than anything. And every time there was a goat in the center of the herd, not just opened up, but almost rearranged inside out. Blackhawk, you listen to this. There is no animal that does this. Period.
It sounds like a parasite to me. But something.
Even parasites that exist out here, they're pretty small. You would commonly find parasites in frogs. You know, the worms are a thing, absolutely. Something large enough to
Explode
damage a goat.
Explode out. Sounds.
Yeah, that just does not exist here. You can't think of anything in terms of poison that could do that. You know, the snakes out here, they can kill flesh with their bite, but it wouldn't cause this type of configuration that this person's talking about. More than that, yes, ghosts are very curious creatures. They're also loud as sin when they are upset. So for ghosts to be quiet,
Yeah, that.
you know, if there was a cat around, yeah, I would get one goat definitely, but the rest of the goats would raise hell. Coyotes would leave nothing behind, nor would they be able to get to the center of the herd. So, at this point in time, as far as a natural predator or creature doing this, you cannot think of one, which then has your mind shift towards something else that you've heard around the campfire, that you know that your elders have told you that you've never seen before. So now these other tales start to enter your head of skinwalkers, of creatures that live up on the mesa that look like giant lizards. And all of these start to flood your mind as you're kind of like, you've never disbelieved your elders, but you've never seen it. So this is very concerning. Ruth, same for you. You're outside a lot. Something like this, it really does sound like it's somebody trying to scare off a person, but this is the weirdest way of trying to do that when you could just come and set their house on fire.
Aye, it's a lot of work, and it's very nasty work. It seems a lot to go through to frighten somebody.
And they stress that no one ever approached them. There were never any notes left behind at their property. They never
so it's
saw
not
any
like somebody's
footsteps
trying
around.
to threaten them or scare them.
Right.
Do they have any known enemies? What are their names, these guys? The Spinks?
Spritz.
The Spritz.
Spritz.
The Spritz family.
Carl, Mary Beth, and then Carl Jr.
I'm wanting to go to their farm.
Yeah, should we go to their farm?
Yep.
Investigate there.
Yeah, so he said,
Wonder if they've got
They-
any of the
they
bodies
did-
still lying about to have a look at.
so George will let you know that they did burn the bodies. They started burning the bodies because they just trying to cover all their bases. They were not sure if there was infection. They also were too scared to eat the meat, and they didn't want to attract
don't
predators.
blame them.
So there is you will see.
But he said they sold some of the goats here, right? So we could just quickly see if there's more. Check one of the goats out. I don't know if there's still one here before we go to the.
No, they took their goats with them. They had seven
I
left.
thought they might. They did. Okay.
They
so
came
it's that.
through with them. They came through with them. Yeah.
So they've left now, and they're up there. Is the ranch abandoned?
Yes. Yes.
Is it
abandoned.
for sale, or what's the story with it?
No, they just walked away.
So it's just abandoned, no one's moved in. Okay, so let's go check the air out first, I think. See if there's any kind of evidence of anything going on left lying around. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Plus, we want to get that. If it's half a day's ride, we don't want to be. We want to be back here before dark as well. So if we go now, right, we might be able to get there, look around, and then get back here before it's.
Yeah, you heard the
totally dark.
You heard the man, George. We'll need another couple of whiskies all round. And you can fill the flask to go as well. Thank you very much, Georgie boy.
So, now the Spritz Ranch, comparative to the others, is the closest to Shepherd Junction.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get to them probably in about 2.5 to 3 hours. Where you are in Arizona, it is relatively flat, flat expanses with a lot of mesas just spread out about. And there's patches of trees that are around, nothing that you would call a forest. But there are water sources around here, so you know this area. It's not easy for you to traverse. That being said, James, you don't ride as much as Ruth and John do, so I will need a ride roll from you.
Okay.
This is just to determine how quickly you get there.
I think my ride's okay.
No, it's better than average. It should be.
Should be, because if you've got money, you've got horses. Oh, are you alright there, Mr. Moneybags? Do you want to jump on the back of mine?
I mean, I presume this thing, it takes me longer than you would imagine, right?
Or it's
No,
just
yeah,
more
so-
uncomfortable? You're
Quit
bruised.
Yeah,
pulling on the
Ruth,
reins
you
to the
take
left.
off. Ruth, John, you two just take off. You just go riding. Actually, hold on. Let me play some dramatic riding music. There we go.
Hey.
You take off riding, and you guys are both at a gallop because you want to get there. You want to get back before dark. You don't know how much time it'll be to test this out. And as you're riding, you look over. Ruth, you look over. You see John. You look over. There's nobody there. You turn around, and James Caldwell is like 500 yards back.
Oh.
Just
Come on, struggle
I'm
out.
waving at all the townspeople because I'm so well known, so I'm really busy, just slowly parading.
When we see you,
like,
we look back and you're like
parade
falling off
riding.
the horse. Like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
attempting to gallop. It is not happening. But
I'm gonna tell the horse, his horse and Hoppy, that if he doesn't hurry up, that I'm gonna take him to my tribe and eat him.
yours is doing fine.
While I'm smiling at his horse.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride back and go side by side with this horse and then give
Okay.
this horse a big slap on the ass. Yeah! Come on!
There's a couple of moments where you realize you are going to have to ride alongside him to make sure he doesn't accidentally fall off of his saddle. As his horse is like, oh no, we can run, and just tears it.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, Caldwell, usually there's a carriage that can bring you somewhere. If you're moving from like town to town. You'll ride a horse, but usually you never have to run anywhere. But the three of you race, desert sun high in the sky, shadows gone at this point. It is the hottest point of the day, but you have something very important to do. So, the math for the test, it would be about 37 degrees Celsius.
Turn the music down a touch
now.
for a day again. Thank you.
It's about 37 degrees Celsius as you race. And
Lovely.
you see the ranch coming up in the distance. You can see a one-story home, wooden. As you get closer to it, you can see the what do you call those? The fence. There we go. And you do see a large pile of something. You can actually smell it before you start to get up close to it. The wind hits you, and you get that smell of burned carcass. Smells kind of good. because goat's delicious. But
Cabrito.
as you roll up, anybody who wants can go ahead and give me a tracking roll.
Yep.
And then any sensory rolls that you think would be appropriate for this, you can absolutely roll, and just let me know what you're looking for.
I failed on the track, so
So as you're coming
I'll
up.
also listen as well. Got a hard success
Yeah,
listening.
I'll listen. I'm not going to do the track thing.
As you're
also
getting up
gonna-
there,
See if I smell
Mhm.
something other than the goat in the fire.
smell poop, smell goat poop. No. Well, getting up there, you do see the tracks that are coming away from the ranch. You do note goat hooves. You see one lone pair of horse tracks. You can see the ruts of a wagon. So you can see, okay, this must be the path the family left at. As you're looking around, you don't see anything else to indicate a horse or human footsteps coming up to the ranch. You do see footprints like in and around the ranch. You're making the assumption that it belongs to the Spritzes. You've never met them, so you don't really know their shoe size, but it appears to be the same foot patterns over and over again, indicating just 3 people.
Okay.
2, one large adult footprint, a smaller footprint that appears to be more dainty, and then a very small footprint indicating a child.
And
You
I don't
see
see
that the
anything
goat prints
outside of
are.
those norms.
You see a couple of coyote tracks. You see a couple of movements in the sand that indicate a snake. Things that you would normally see. Nothing unusual. Listening around, you don't hear anything terribly abnormal. One thing about this time of the year is it is a little bit more on the windy side, which can kind of cover up some tracks, but nothing horrid. As you look around and listen, nothing unusual, other than it is very quiet here. You don't hear birds. You don't hear insects. That part, especially Ruth and Blackhawk, that gets you really fast. That you're not hearing the sounds of the desert here.
Yeah. That is a little bit
And
strange.
then I'll say, yeah, Ruth, as you're looking around, it's the house appears to be just like a one room house, so to say.
Mhm.
You can see barrels of hay about. You can see shrubs. Like goats are clearly decimated. You see goat poop. You see everything that looks like it should be here. It's just missing everything else. There's no insects. You don't see snakes. You can see the evidence that it was there. Blackhawk, I will say,
There wasn't even insects
as you
buzzing
walk
about the
around.
corpses, no?
So the corpses, you do see a pile of bones.
No, but there's
blackened.
no insects buzzing about that.
No,
Okay.
no, you don't hear anything.
Is there a definite line for those insects? I go
A
look
line?
to see if I can find like they don't
Oh.
cross this boundary. Do I find a boundary for the insects and other animals?
You start to move circumferentially around the ranch. You have to get pretty far out before the desert comes to life again. Maybe a quarter of a mile. So, which is significant.
Is it centered on the house?
Yes.
And did you say a quarter mile? Like radius?
Quarter of a
You
mile.
see me head away from the house till I'm nearly a quarter mile away, and then I look back at the house. I'm walking around and I keep looking back at the house.
And I'll see you doing this, and I'll see you doing it, and you're the same distance away every time you look back at the house.
I'm gonna go in the house while these guys seem to be playing with perspectives. Like,
Okay.
I want to
You
have
step into the house. Oh, yes.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna have a closer look at the pile of meat.
Not a problem at all. Martin, James, you step into the house. It's just one open room. You can see against one wall is a fire stove. Nothing on it. It looks like they took everything with them. There's no furniture in here. It appears that they took that as well. So this place has been pretty stripped. But once again, just like the dirt that's on the ground, you're just seeing like the same pattern of footsteps. So it doesn't look like anybody came in here and sacked anything. It just looks like the family just took everything that they could and left. You don't see any
Surprised they
strange
didn't take the iron
markings.
stove.
And there's no
Just
like
bolted into the
weird.
floor.
There's not like any scary kids' pictures of goats or anything written on the wall, or it's like nothing really.
You do see some like stick figure goats written on the wall, clearly done by a child. Goats have little smiley faces on them. There's one goat with
okay.
a little frowny face.
Okay. What's the last goat? Because obviously they start off like nice, and then there's like a demon or tentacles coming out the end. Timeline.
Go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
Oh, no.
As McGarner, you are walking around and inspecting this pile. It's a lot of goats. It is heartbreaking the amount of goats that's on this pile. You're getting a sense of how decimated their herd was.
Yeah. I mean, it was one a day for a
very
while. It's going to be
unfortunate.
a lot.
Yeah. You're counting easily 40 goats. Just going off of the spines and the skulls.
I got an extreme, so I think I found the monster now. Like he's like in the house.
You guys are done. Martin figured it
Job
out.
done. Yes.
Yeah, it's like
It's all done.
Oh,
You guys can
no.
go.
too many extreme successes.
I mean, with that kind of extreme success, is he making a sanity roll yet?
Oh,
Well, no,
don't
I don't know
worry,
if there's
we're gonna-
anything. I just thought. I thought there might be something in
comes
the
out
house,
of the
like a
wood of
church.
the house.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna finish with Miss Garner, come back over to Blackhawk, and then we're going to address that extreme success there that Caldwell
boy.
got.
Hey.
This is a one shot. I don't have to keep you guys alive for another round.
No,
So-
you don't.
McGarner, as you're looking at this pile, it takes a second for you to figure out what exactly is going on.
Yep.
So can you please give me an intelligence roll as you're looking at it?
Okay,
The bones were
joke.
blackened.
Don't like
The bones were
intelligence
blackened in
rolls
such a
this game.
manner. Yeah, I believe in you. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, that's a
The blackened bones, they're so charred that you get the sense that they kept adding fuel onto this fire as if they were trying to completely eliminate the
Yeah,
body.
right there. Yeah.
Now it takes a lot to burn through bone like that. The fire has to be really hot or very long, and there's just not enough wood out here to make that happen. That being said, you're staring at this pile and you're just like, once again, your heart breaks for this family. You know, you're not a cold woman, you're just a smart woman.
Yeah.
Before your mind starts to kind of realize the puzzle pieces that she's looking at, and then you start to see there's a spine, there are the ribs. The ribs are all facing the wrong direction. They're not caving in, they're caving out like
So they
butterfly
go backward,
wings.
like butterflies.
Exactly. You can see heads are horns are facing the complete wrong way,
Turned
completely anatomically incorrect. You can see legs are broken in such a manner that they should come apart. Like there's a femur, it looks like it's been snapped in half, but it's still being held together, almost like it refused itself. No person could do this because there's no way to make bones stick to themselves like this.
It's like they've been glued back
And-
together.
Yeah, it's
Is
almost
glue
like
even
they
a
were
thing?
glued back together. Glue is a thing, but it would never be used for something like this.
What are we talking? 1870s or what? No, before
Yeah,
that.
1890s.
1890s. Yeah.
1890s. So out here in the West, resources are, hard to get, so you don't waste them. So no one's gonna go buy or make glue and then waste it on whatever this monstrosity.
To do this to dozens of skeletons and waste all the meat like that. It's not like there's any purpose to this. It's so strange. I don't see any reason why somebody's doing this. It's very
Now,
strange.
one thing you'll notice is the bones themselves, like on an individual level, those look fine. You're not seeing any signs of disease, so to say. The bones
Mhm.
themselves don't look malformed like on the individual bone, but when they're formed into the deer, and you can see each individual deer at this point. You're now realizing you thought it was just like bones kind of collected at the bottom. No, the skeletons held their shape.
They're all
Well,
still holding together even after the meat's burnt off them.
mm-hmm.
Hmm. And they're holding together this weird backwards deformed shape as well.
Yes.
Fucked up.
Before I shift over to Black Hawk, do you touch any of them?
Yes, I think she does. I think she will put a glove on if she's not already wearing a glove. And she's going to get one of the legs that's like bent the wrong way, and she's going to try and bend it back the right way and see what happens.
You go to grab a leg, it feels like bone, and you go to bend it back and it snaps in your hands the way you would expect a charred bone to snap.
Mm-hmm.
And when you snap it,
The goat
something spills out of it. A
Oh,
blue liquid, bright blue, slightly iridescent.
bright blue.
It smells strong. And for a second, you're not entirely sure what that smell is. And then something in your head is like, it smells like root beer. It smells like sassafras and sugar. Please roll me a dexterity.
Oh.
We're going to shift our focus now to our lone gentleman circling the property. As you were moving about, getting farther and farther away from the house, it's getting disturbing. Because once again, you're seeing all the tracks that should exist there of little critters, tiny little feet of mice, snakes, coyotes, deer. But you don't hear anything. You don't see anything. You don't even smell poop. That's a big thing. Poop should be everywhere. Even the plants appear to be subdued in some manner. And just when you're starting to think, has the entire world been affected? Only then do insects start to come back into play. You start to hear flies. You start to hear nature again.
Ooh.
A bird circles overhead, and it's just like, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. You take one step back towards the house, and it all immediately shuts off in its silence. You watch the bird bank sharply as if it's trying to stay away from something very specific in the air, even though you don't see anything. And you're left alone once again with just desert wind. Mr. James Caldwell, you're now crouched low, trying to look down at this wall.
I don't want to stop you, but I have figured it out. So, you know, from the Christmas game, I think it's those weird goat kids that have come back.
The Krampus
Like
kids.
yeah, the time travel back.
Found out where they lived.
Yeah, they time travel back in like Back to the Future 3, and now they're fucking up Western time to take something over. Have I figured it out? Is that roughly what's going on?
That's exactly what it is. You turn around,
sorry.
they're standing behind you with presents. Presents. But you find this little patch of wall that you're looking at, and you can see where he's gotten a hold of some charcoal, and he's found a spot where his mother clearly did not find, and this little child has drawn pictures of goats, the sun. You see little stick figures of what you're assuming are his mom and dad. It's a 5-year-old. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what he's doing. And as you see these little pictures kind of like populate over in the corner, you see something that you're like, that's a snake? A snail? There's something else there that he's drawn next to the goats. At first, you kind of gloss over thinking it's just squiggles, but then your eye comes back to it. And on second review, you're like, no, this is a little creature, maybe. Not entirely sure. It looks like a fat slug with more than one eye coming out of it, unless those are legs. Maybe it's a fat lizard. It could just be poop. You're not sure.
Just
As
thinking
you
I've definitely got to get an art school program going on in the town.
Have you got a bet with somebody how many times you can say poop tonight, Birdie?
I'm gonna say poop so many times. Goats poop so much, and they poop everywhere. I really love goats, but they do poop a lot.
And poop, apparently.
Everybody poops. Nah, but yeah, it's so strange. This thing here, as you continue to look, the only other thing next to it is just another stick figure goat, but this one's laying on its back, with these lines drawn out of it. You're not entirely sure if that's supposed to be ribs or something coming out of the goat, but you definitely get the sense that Carl Jr. saw something, and he drew it however his little child mind envisioned it.
I might go and try and find my Native American friend in case he could, look at it and maybe relate, because, yeah, he's better with animal stuff than me.
You come out, and I'm stepping over one step, stepping over another step,
Like that.
looking around, stepping back out, stepping back in, looking at the house.
It is disturbing.
Then I see you, and I look shocked.
So, what's going to happen is, one, Blackhawk, I am going to need a sanity roll from you, because this is the most disturbing thing you've encountered. Nature shouldn't shut off like that. I'm also going to need...
So Tokori hears about this.
I'm also going to need a constitution roll from Ruth.
Oh dear.
And then forget about you.
Maybe I might want to spend luck on that dexterity.
You can absolutely spend luck on it.
Does that mean I don't have to roll constitution if I spend luck on that dexterity?
That does mean that you don't have to roll
constitution. Can you spend it on the attributes?
You spend it? Yeah, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure you can.
Okay.
What was it? What's needed for 13? It's okay. I'm using 13 luck.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to roll constitution. Whatever you did to me did not happen. I did not fail my dexterity roll.
Blackhawk is a 1d2. You can't push
Attribute
it.
rolls.
No, it's a 1d2. For that sanity.
A 1d2.
Mm-hmm. And something that happens as you're doing this, there is a smell that you had kind of
That didn't do it.
locked onto a little bit as you were riding up. It was a strange, sweet smell, but it was very faint, and it kind of wafted away. It suddenly hits your nose even harder, coming from the direction of the ranch. As Ruth, you've now split open this bone. This blue liquid has spilled out, and it almost lands on you. You kind of move aside very quickly so it hits the ground. Strongest, sweetest smell. It makes your stomach turn a little bit. Something about it just doesn't feel good. As you watch this blue liquid spill on the ground, it doesn't soak into the dirt. It just sits on top of it, like oil on top of water.
Like oil would, yeah.
Before it starts to just kind of move away from you and back towards the pile of bones. Almost as if somebody tilted the earth and it just slides right back to the bones.
What?
So at this point, James, you're more than welcome to come back out. There's nothing else in the house that you find other than
I don't
Carl
know
Jr.'s.
one of them. The house was reasonably safe compared to what these guys have been doing.
I was waiting for the roll
don't know
sanity
that.
there.
You don't know that.
I got off light there. I
Yep.
didn't have to roll sanity.
I'd be like, guys, I figured it out. The kid's drawn this squiggle. It's like, why'd you guys look a little bit shocked?
The strangest thing.
Well, Ruth, do you want to investigate? Do you want to? How do you want to interact?
I'm going to
with
follow
this?
it. I'm going to follow it. Follow it. Go back to the pile of bones. I'm going to follow it.
Okay. You see, and once again, it's not like
At a distance.
it's crawling or slithering. It's not doing any of that. It literally looks like someone had just tilted the earth, and it's like a liquid that just rolls down a table
Wow.
before it hits a bone. And now you see true movement as tiny, thin tendrils kind of form out of this liquid, attach to the bone, and slowly disappear into the bone itself. Now you can make a sanity roll.
Ah, there it is.
Well, Oliver, sometimes you're smart and you won't look at things.
Okay, that's a fail.
So for you, because this is an unnatural thing, it's going to be a 1d4 sanity roll.
Okay.
Versus
I wasn't
Blackhawk,
trying to
who's
roll.
dealing
My
with a
apologies.
mystery.
I was trying to change it.
You have
'cause
to
I
do the
lost one,
edit
didn't
mode.
I?
Yeah, you
Yes.
lost one.
Just make sure that it's in edit mode.
Oh, that's right.
So I lose 2. That's some weird shit.
Forgot about that. It's been a while since I've used the D20.
Yeah.
Or roll 20.
But the second it goes back into that bone, that sweet smell disappears.
The bone doesn't move or anything, does it?
It does not.
Was it a broken bone or did it just kind of go into a normal bone? Because the bones aren't broken, are
It went
they?
into a femur. None of the bones are broken. It went into what you pretty positive is a femur.
It's the strangest thing. I'm going to have to go back and tell John about this. I'll head back to the...
I'm walking back towards y'all.
Yeah,
And
I'll
I'm
head
looking
back
to see
towards
if
the
there's any
building.
signs that the goats had been trying to leave the property. While I'm walking back.
You don't have to roll for that because you see no goat tracks out here. But the majority of the tracks you saw were all around the goat pen itself. And there was like a path, so to say, where you saw goats go out. You figure that's where they would take them out for to graze before bringing them back. It's the same. It's just one path, though. It looks like it's consistently utilized.
So I say, it's interesting. The goats don't seem to want to leave, but nothing seems to want to come here. They've given the property about a quarter-mile berth.
It's strange that the rest of the goats don't just try to run away. That's the strangest thing.
Yeah, the
And-
goats don't seem to want to leave, and
And that something gets right into the middle of the flock, the herd of goats, without scaring any of the rest of them. They don't make any noise.
but other animals seem to register that there's something here.
Yeah, there's no other animal life in the place. Is that what you're checking? Is that why I see you going round the perimeter? Is that what you're doing? You're measuring that?
Yeah, it's about the same distance from the house all the way around.
It's the strangest thing. I've never known anything like it in my life. You're the one that's Hopi. You know, you're well more in tune with nature and what's going on. You're gonna know better than me. I'm clueless. I saw the strangest thing, John. Saw the strangest thing. I was investigating the bones. There's a big pile of the bones there. They've been burning it, really
Yeah.
trying to burn it, and the bones are still there, and the bones are. I would say that the skeletons are still intact, but they're not. They are and they're not. So the skeletons are deformed. The ribs are butterflied out backwards. The horns on the skulls are turned all backwards, and it's the strangest thing. But the skeletons aren't falling apart when they're burning. They're staying together, like joined at the joints, like as if they still had their ligaments and all that. And I picked one up and I broke it just to see if it would bend back the normal way this joint should go. And this blue liquid was poured out from inside the bone. A blue liquid. It was strange. It sat on the ground like oil. And not a moment later, it was like, I swear it was like someone tilted the earth and it just started to roll away. And I watched it and I followed it. And that liquid rolled away and it rolled away and it rolled back towards the bones and it sucked into the bone. The strangest thing I've ever seen, John.
I'll go and I'll look at the pile of bones.
Exactly as Ruth described. And James, you can hear this. The voices are carrying. It's only the three of you out here, so you can hear this from where you are inside of the house. But Blackhawk, you walk up exactly as Ruth described. You don't see anything blue, but the manner of these twisted skeletons. Like you don't even think a person did this.
I'm gonna go over with him, and I'll watch this, John. Watch this. And I'll grab one of the deformed bones, and I'll break it over the ground. And I'll step back a few paces away from the pile, and I'll break it over the ground and watch, see if it happens again.
So you get a deformed bone. You snap it once again, charred bone, so it does crack pretty easily. You snap it, and sure enough, this blue liquid comes out and associate with this very, very strong, sweet smell. And it plops onto the ground, and it sits there before, once again, as if, you know, beer on a table, somebody tilts the table, and it just slides back towards the bones. And John, you see as these small tendrils come out and latch onto the bone, and it just starts to seep into it.
Debating, would it be more natural world roll or an occult roll here?
Sanity.
So it's going to be a sanity roll. You just roll something incredibly unnatural. That's some freaky shit, John.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. You had to see it as well. Like.
So it's all right. Your mind is kind of already in a it's weird territory. So this is incredibly disturbing to you, but you're already in a disturbed state. So there's no loss. But you see it go into this bone. You don't see any residue on the bone. And once again, it is very strange because you are noticing after Ruth picked up that one that some of these bones appear to have broken and then refused in positions that just don't make sense.
I'll tell her to try to pick up one that is obviously fused and see if the whole skeleton lifts.
I'll grab a skeleton by one rib from the middle of the rib cage, pick it up and see what happens.
It's some effort because the bones actually do stay together, and they stay together stiffly. It's not, you know, it's not moving. It's not moving as if there's still.
It's all like they're fused as one piece.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's not like there's ligaments or a joint anymore. It's just solid.
Yeah. Yep. And as you look at it, you see like wherever there should be cartilage, there isn't any cartilage. So in its place, you can see the bone just kind of grew down and attached itself to whatever else it needed to.
Do they still have their hooves?
They do.
Aren't hooves like a toenail, a thing that grows and keeps growing after death?
They're a nail. Yeah. So the outer bit would be like the hard nail. There is an inner soft part that you don't see. So it's like a hollow hoof.
Am I right in thinking that your nails grow for a certain amount of time after you die? I think.
Well, except these things are, all the soft tissue was burned away.
Mm-hmm.
So if the nail is there, it was replaced with whatever this bone material is.
So it should have fell off, yeah. A nail would have fell off because of the soft tissue in between the nail and the bone.
Correct.
The
hooves should not be attached.
I didn't find anything.
Come and have a look at this.
I think
it's great fun.
Nah, I'm okay. I think because you guys didn't know. I mean, I've heard some of your conversations, but I've not seen what you've been talking about. But I'm like, I mean, a good plan would be
pick up a skeleton and by the ribs.
I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, I'm still like, well, you guys were a lot of help, but remember, the crazy stuff went on at night, so I'm gonna go back to the Rose spa. You guys can stay here at night and tell me what happens at night, and I'll throw them some money and run away. No, I won't. But I do think that we might have to stay here at night to see what's gonna happen.
I mean, there's no more goats here, though. I don't think anything's going to happen here anymore because there's no more goats here. We need to go to one of the active.
Yeah, but we're here. Obviously moving in a way that is not normal.
And we're here, and we've got horses.
Yeah.
Now, can everybody please give me a spot hidden?
Ooh.
as you're having this discussion, James is making very, very good logical points.
Oh, success.
Fortunately, that doesn't matter.
Success is all round.
Okay.
This is really funny. As you're, James, you're making these very important points of like, hey, it's dangerous here at night. We should leave. And you're all discussing what you're seeing here. And as you're having this discussion, it is incredibly easy for you to see a figure peek out from behind the house. Do they think they're being stealthy? Probably. But they're definitely not. As you all turn and see an older man just full on standing right next to the house, holding a bush just like in one hand as if he was hiding behind it. He's holding, like when I say he's holding a bush, he's pulled a bush out of the ground and he's just holding it over his chest. The bush is maybe a foot in diameter.
Like a
as he just
tumbleweed.
stands there. Now, James, you know who this person is.
I do. It's
To
the
an extent.
local. It's the guy who has sex with goats. I know who it is.
No.
Oh, it's the other guy.
That's Jeremiah. This is Old Man
Jeremiah.
Winslow.
Oh, he just watches. Yeah, he's different. Okay, fair enough.
No. So this is Old Man Winslow. Everybody calls him Old Man Winslow. His full name is Wilson Winslow. As he just stands there, and when you all turn, he just raises the bush in front of his face. And just continues to stand there watching you.
I do the same motion as a greeting.
I'm gonna go give him some of our excess beer. I'll be like, hey. Like, oh, what? Is there someone there? Big surprise. And then I'll go over to him with some of our beer.
He turns to me. There's no one here.
He's like, yeah,
I
know
mean-
you did really well. Like, it's like, whoa, sometimes you're invisible, sometimes you're not. You're so good at this. But let's have a little. Do you want some beer?
Give me persuasion. Or charm, persuasion or charm.
Okay, charm. I've got charm. Charm's okay.
I was gonna make some root beer, but
Okay.
Actually, Blackhawk, give me a history roll.
Oh no, he don't like my beer.
well, I don't have.
Yeah,
very
you try
good
to give him
history,
some
but-
beer, and that's all right. This is just
Alright.
just a maybe.
Any chance?
As he,
Oh. Okay, I guess I'll try history. It's not going to be a good roll.
it's okay. It's not a fumble. That's all right. You don't know this person either. As you present that beer, Mr. Winslow just like spits on the ground between the two of you. Get that piss water away from me. What's wrong with you, boy?
Ungrateful
Pulls something
fuck.
out of his. This is what we drink around here, and he hands you a flask. Do you drink it?
Can I
Does it smell
smell
sweet?
it?
To
Yeah, can we
moonshine.
smell it? Can we smell it
You can-
first?
Absolutely smell it.
Do I have to roll, or can I just smell it? Like,
No, but you can make an intelligence roll.
okay.
Piss.
Oh, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's either piss and moonshine or
It's gonna be
something.
moonshine. Rocket
Yeah.
fuel.
I don't know what it is.
Well, so here's the thing about moonshine. Moonshine is one of the easiest things to make around these parts. However, depending on what you use to make it, can have some devastating results to the drinker. You know it's alcohol. You're not entirely sure what he used to make this, because you can definitely tell it's homebrewed.
Cow done.
Can I fake drink it and just like do that? Let it like touch my lips but not drink any? Like to show him like
Oh, yeah. You don't have to
likes
roll
it.
anything for that. That's an
Okay.
easy.
I'm trying to be hospitable to him because I know he's the local crazy man.
What does touch your lip immediately burns your lip.
Nice.
As you hand it back to him. He's like,
Got a red
See?
mark on your lip.
Yeah, I'm like
Bubbling.
it's like
which it sells it even more. He really thinks that you drank it. See, he's like, you're right there. See, that's much better. Okay.
yeah, so it's like that stuff's made from rattlesnakes, right?
Man of good taste. You're a
It's
man of
great.
good
So,
taste.
what are you doing out here anyway, all alone?
I'm not alone. I got Adam. It's a giant white horse that's been on the other side of this house.
Oh, okay. I was scared he was going
Like
to be an
massive.
invisible
No,
friend.
massive horse. Standing behind
Oh,
you. It's just wearing a blanket. There's no actual saddle on it. And this horse is eating the blanket.
okay. But I'm
But
like, I said, well, if you vote me for president,
I look
you
over
can
at the. I
you
look
can
over at him and
marry
go,
that horse.
"Is that the horse the chief lost?"
it's not. It's the horse that all of you think isn't a real horse. Your whole tribe thinks that this horse is just a spirit that just parades around as a horse, just to dick with people. You've all made sure to never attempt to catch this horse, and here it is with this man, this old gentle
Is
man.
this a famous horse,
Uh,
is it?
the horse?
Yeah.
No, he's just fun.
Well,
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So I'll be like, oh well, I'm glad you're here with your friends.
I tell the horse
But
and Hoppy, that he must be in good company. Does the horse respond?
The horse actually stops eating, turns, both ears aimed towards you, looks at Wilson, and you swear to the spirits, Blackwell. It just shakes its head no. You swear this horse has responded to you. But old man
Nod.
Winslow, he's like, he sees you and he stands between you and Adam. You are taller than him. Adam's taller than all of you. It does nothing. But he now addresses the whole party. Sheriffs, Chris and Chris, they told me that you guys were investigating around here, looking at the goats. Just wanted to see what did you find?
Blue marrow.
Blue marrow. Okay. Ruth and only Ruth is going to be allowed to please roll dexterity.
okay. What the fuck is going on here?
because he doesn't like women. That's what's going on.
Don't blame him.
Oliver, I will let you decide what Ruth wants to draw, but she clocks that Winslow starts to reach for something within his jacket, and he pulls out a pistol. Unfortunately, he cannot match your speed.
I believe I've
as
got
you level your weapon at him
pistol.
First. You have a rifle and you have a pistol.
Yeah, I'll draw the pistol.
You have the pistol before he can fully bring his hand out. But he still holds up his pistol. Not at you, Ruth. He holds it at James Caldwell.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Bang.
No.
As soon as you saw him drawing it.
You shoot it out of his hand. Ah! God. Can you hear me? All right. Listen here. And he points with his now shattered hand, which he is not addressing.
Oh.
You're going to come up to my ranch.
That's rolled
You
off
hit
my...
him. You hit him.
That's rolled off a rifle. It didn't have a pistol. There's no pistol on the sheet, Birdie, sorry.
Oh.
It's handgunned.
Well,
that's a 22 bolt action. That's a rifle.
Yeah, we're definitely going to say rifle, not a shotgun, because you would definitely take out his whole arm. Okay.
Under firearms, you should have handgun.
Yeah, but in combat, it's actually got weapons.
Itself? Yeah.
In combat, there's a weapons tab, and there's a rifle in my... I just pressed on the thing that was in my weapons tab, and it's a rifle. It's fine. You can say I drew a rifle. I don't mind.
Okay. So...
I'd say I have it on a strap over my back, and as soon as I saw him draw the gun, I just give my hips a swivel, and it pops up in front of me. Bang!
To John and James, a shot immediately rings out as he drops the hold in his hand. It is bleeding pretty bad. But he shakes it. You're going to come over to my ranch, all right? You're going to come to my ranch, and you're going to save Ethel, okay? You're going to come to my ranch, you're going to save Ethel. You're going to come to my ranch, you're going to save Ethel. Get on your horses. Get on your horses right now.
What are you pulling a gun? What are you pulling a gun on my man here for, old man? I nearly took your head off there. If I didn't think you were an old slow man, I would have took your head off there. What are you doing?
As I whistle for my horse.
He directs his bloodied hand towards you, Ruth. Ma'am? And there's a pause where he then stops, and with his other hand, he takes off his hat. And then he points, Ma'am,
Sir?
I need help saving Ethel. Everybody I've asked to help me has left. No one will come over and help me.
Is Ethel your wife or your goat?
What?
Is Ethel a wife or a goat?
I'm gonna whisper. I'm gonna whisper. It could be both. It could be both. It could be both. Okay.
Ethel is Adam's wife. And we got to save her.
The horse
I
has a
can't
wife.
lose another. Of course not. Oh, what? Ma'am. And you can see now he's like looking to see if you have a wedding ring. He's like, I recognize a free spirit when I see one, but Adam is spoken for. Okay? Listen, I've been doing the math. He took Kimberly, he took Bethany, Ethel's next. Okay? We got to save Ethel.
I go and I look back at the bones. Is there a way for me to tell if they are all male or female? Or can I roll natural world?
Their PPs are burned
Actually, yeah,
up.
roll me a natural world. So you are able to tell. The way that the pelvis is designed, you can tell if it's male or female. It's both.
They're all female?
Oh, no, it's male and female.
Male and female. Okay.
The carcasses appear to be indiscriminate.
I've got no interest in saving your horse's wife, old man.
I'll shrug and go, well, if we can save her, we can try. As I whistle,
Black Hawk, I'll also note that it's very common that for horse herds, it's usually mares and one stallion. It's very common. It's usually they won't have multiple males because they'll fight.
Yep.
So for him to list off all these names, one, okay, but two, no, it makes sense that he has multiple female horses and supposedly one male. But once again,
well, why are you
bloody
breeding
hand up.
him? As I look over at Adam.
He's like, Adam and Ethel haven't had their wedding night yet. And he leans forward. Adam's a little shy.
I look over at Adam.
Very. Once again, Adam's just. It's like, listen. It's very possible that Adam is a homosexual. If that's the case, I can give you a male lover. I just need to make sure Ethel's okay. Will you help me, please?
Yeah, I whistled over for my horse. Did it come over?
Yes, your horse came over immediately.
It's like, you didn't say he was gay, now we have to help him, otherwise it's a hate crime. So I'm like, come on, guys. Let's help the gay horse.
I don't think we can make him consummate his fucking marriage if he's gay, though. I don't think we're going to be able to help him with that.
We just got to give love a chance.
I mean, love is love. If your horse is a homosexual, you've got to let him love another man horse. You can't try and force him to love Ethel. That's discriminating. That's a hate crime. Hate crimes have not even been invented yet, and that is one.
Listen, we won't know until their wedding night. All right? And in order for that wedding night to happen, we got to save Ethel before she's taken.
Fair enough. For love, and I'll get on my dodgy horse and see if I can ride it this time.
Where's your ranch?
We ride in a line so that his horse will follow ours.
You don't have to roll that. There we go. It's okay because you watch when it looks like you guys are going to help him, you can see he is instantly relieved. He now pauses to take care of his hand, which is utterly ruined. He gets out some leaves, he gets out some rags, he shoves it onto his hand, he wraps it up, and then he goes to hop onto Adam. And Adam just walks away. Does not let him get on top.
We can give him some first aid. We can give him some first aid if he wants.
Oh, but I would love for you to roll that.
Has anyone got any higher? Mine's 30. Has anyone got any higher than that?
First aid?
Yeah. Yeah. Brian, do you want to do it? You might have special. Yeah.
I've got 45. He's got 50. He's failed though. Push it. It's fine. Nothing ever bad happens from a failed push.
Push it, kill it.
He loses his hand.
Nothing bad ever happened from a failed.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. See?
All right. So you're able to help out. You're able to properly. He's just crushing just bare leaves into them. You recognize the leaves he has. They're good for clotting. So you crush them first in your mouth, as you're supposed to, not the bloody ones. You make it into a proper paste. You put it on. You help him dress appropriately. He has definitely lost 2 fingers. So he only has 3 fingers at this point. But he calls back over to Adam. Adam's just walking away before he just turns to can I catch a ride with you?
I look over at
That's
Adam and
okay.
go, "What's the problem?" In Hopi.
Yeah, Adam just turns and just keeps. Now he just starts to trot away. He's like, he's upset about Ethel. All right, so let's just. And he just starts, John, without you saying anything, he starts to try to climb up onto your horse. It's like, all right, let's go.
All
We
right.
got a fair lady to save.
Wow.
And with that,
In Hopi, I say, "I hope
Well-
it's not contagious."
you all mount your rides and start moving off to the Wilson's ranch. And we're going to take our break there.
Hey. See you in 15 minutes, Twitch.
All right. Oh, let me paint my dramatic writing again song.
We're heading off
So
to
you make
fix
it
a
now
horse
through the
marriage,
desert.
are we?
You've made it now through the. Well, you've moved through the desert. It's now getting into later afternoon. You had to move quite some distance. Your horses are pretty tired at this point. They are going to need water, which thankfully, Wilson's Ranch has a large creek that runs through it. It actually feeds a lot of water to the town itself. One of the reasons why Winslow's kind of left alone is because he ensures that nothing happens to the creek. But as you've pushed through this open land of red dirt and the scruffiest plants you've ever seen, you start to see a little bit more grass pop up. You see some more trees. The bushes get larger now. Everything still has that dry look to it, but it appears that everything appears to be flourishing here. As you get closer, Winslow initiates you to stop. He hops off the horse, John, kind of runs behind a cactus. You're kind of like, okay. Before you see, he comes back out with a shotgun. Doesn't aim it at anybody, but he just takes a string off of it, and you realize that there is a booby trap that you would have triggered had you kept going.
Okay.
Winslow looks up to you all. It's like, you can never be sure. Is this the only one? Wait right here. Really fast. I'm not used to having guests coming from this direction. He runs forward, going behind a large bush. You do hear a shotgun go off, followed by a "God damn it!" Before he comes back over, now holding another shotgun, muttering to himself, "All right, that should be it."
That should be it.
John, without you
Should be it.
Without you
You
saying
can
anything.
lead. I hop off my horse.
Yeah.
You let him leave?
You can leave.
Is he like 100? Does he have like a dodgy map anywhere with like X's on for like where all these weird contraptions
You do
are?
see smoke coming out of the barrel of one of the shotguns as he just kind of mutters about having to get more shells now. But he says, you know, how it can be sometimes. You got things trying to come and steal your gals from you.
Perfectly
So, you know.
understandable. You can lead.
Aye, we'll just follow you in, Wilson. We'll follow you in. You know your way around here. Just in case you all of a sudden remember another one of these here booby traps that you've set up.
Oh, he looks at you like, well, of course I'll lead. And then he kind of stops, looks around. And then immediately changes direction. The ladies, they'll be over here right now, where the trees are. They're probably in the shade. And he thankfully does show you that there are horses here. You do come up to a herd of horses. You know, desert ponies. They all look very good shape. Classic pintos. There's a couple of white mares, very healthy looking. They look up at you as you all approach, but don't really appear to be too concerned.
They're very cute.
And he gestures, my ladies, looks around. Adam will show up eventually. Now, Ruth, you don't have to roll for this because it's something that your eye is trained for. You distinctly notice that these horses are not marked in any way, designating that they belong to someone.
Right, okay. And all
So
horses
there's a
out here
Mustang.
would be if they were owned by somebody, right?
So there are wild horses.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yeah,
wild
but if
ponies,
they
there are wild
belong to somebody,
mustangs.
they'll be marked.
They would have a brand.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask, how come you girls don't have a brand, Wilmslow? Is it Wilmslow
He just looks
Wilson?
over at you. Well, how come you don't have a brand?
I don't have a ring either. I ain't belong to nobody. Those horses look like they don't belong to nobody.
Well, they belong to themselves, and they stay with me.
So you don't own
We
them
take care of
girls.
each other.
You never bought them girls. You don't own them girls, right?
They're on my ranch, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, this is true.
I mean,
but
I kind of go with it, agreeing with him, is that because...
you would. I mean, I don't have a problem with you looking after these girls and these girls living on your ranch, but I'm just trying to be clear on things, for like law side of things. Who owns what? These horses ain't your property, is what I'm trying to establish, right?
Oh, maybe they belong to
No,
my
I
tribe.
take care of them. I'll trade sometimes with them.
Trade
Uh,
with the
give me a
girls.
psychology.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I
Psychology.
think I would like to.
It might be followed by a sanity roll if you succeed.
Maybe.
Can I
Are
do
they
one as well?
stump broke yet?
Because I know it. I know him a bit, right? This semi-crazy guy.
Semi? What do you mean, Semi? This guy's a lunatic.
Well, if he pays his taxes, I don't care.
You would say that, Mr. Businessman.
So, fun fact: there's no
I
taxes
do.
out here.
Yeah, the income tax doesn't come
Oh.
around until for another 40 years, 30 years.
Okay, well, I'm going to
Yeah,
invent
in
it,
the
and
30s.
this is the moment that I decided to invent it because of the horse thing. This is how I invented taxes. And,
You
Well,
and
so-
Roosevelt, huh?
Everyone loves taxes, right? Everyone's gone, that's the best invention anyone ever
Oh
came
yeah,
up with.
they're awesome. They're great. Now, quick
Is it
question,
worth-
Martin.
Is it worth?
Martin, you're
yeah,
very
is it worth-
close to success.
Yeah, is it worth me spending 3? I think it's worth me spending 3.
Oh,
lots to get
it's always worth spending 3.
Yeah, well,
It's not like you're picking a hat. Yeah, we're halfway through.
Yeah, so I'll use 3 luck. Yeah.
No, so you're looking at him as he talks. He seems very earnest while he's speaking. Just the way he said that, though, that he trades with his girls. It sounds like he trades with the horses, not he trades the horses.
Oh, so he's cuckoo bananas, not just like bananas. He's like way.
Yeah, he's talking
Like,
crazy.
He's feeding
Yeah.
and sheltering them, so maybe
Now-
he owns the colts.
You do recall, now, Caldwell, as far as you understand, there is a ranch here. Wilson is supposed to have a ranch. You do know that at one point he was up here with his sister who passed away, and it was just him. That's when he got kind of strange when his sister passed, and people chalked it up to grief, and then eventually just being out here by himself. And now he's
Loneliness.
older. A lot of reasons for him to be eccentric.
You live by
But
yourself all
as
those
far
years,
as-
you become eccentric. Normal.
Yeah. As far as you remember, he does have a ranch. You're pretty positive he does sell horses. Now, to your knowledge, he has not sold any horses to you or anybody else in town, like, in a decade.
And I would definitely know, like, if he was like trading. I would definitely know if he was trading with like another town or something. I'm pretty sure, right?
No, absolutely.
Like from the other townspeople. I mean, and
No,
I guess
absolutely.
I can ask John, right? I was like, John, does he trade with your people for horses? Well, no. Oh god.
Strange.
I just think he's a pervert at this point. I mean, hopefully a harmless pervert, but
Trades.
Just trading
So,
with
well,
girls.
so- But as he's continuing to talk, just not paying attention at all to any of the looks you guys might be giving him or each other, he walks over straight towards the herd, and they look up, they look at him, ears up and forward, and they go back to eating.
Affectionately look at him.
They seem very comfortable, because he just walks right into the herd as he calls out, "Ethel, Ethel," and you see finally he comes out, hand on the shoulder of this petite pinto, this black and brown pinto horse comes out. I just realized that everybody knows what a pinto is. Smaller than the rest of
I
the.
thought it was a car, so I thought he came out with this.
It also is one of them. Yeah, it also is one of them.
Pinto is
a lot of horse names for their cars.
A pinto is they're more petite. They're on the smaller side for horses, and they have a black and white dappling pattern to them. They're very iconic of the West. But yeah, he comes out, his hand on her shoulder. This here is Ethel. We gotta save her.
What do
And
you
he's
mean
just
save her?
And he's like, "Haven't you been listening? I already told you they got Kimberly and Bethany. Ethel's next.
Who got Kimberly and Bethany?
Whatever got the goats. Them.
So you're saying whatever got the goats? This
You've got
has been
horses
happening
that
to
are
your
turned
horses
inside out?
too. They've been turning inside
he-
out.
And you say that, and he actually his eyes well up with tears, and he takes his hat
Aw.
off again.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about some weird dating show for your horses. I didn't realize you were talking about somebody was coming to get them, got the goats. What did you do with the bodies, Winslow?
I buried him.
Yeah, good.
And he just kind of casually points, and you can see two massive graves. With
Now,
a little
I put my
wooden
hand on his
crosses.
shoulder. I'm sorry to ask you, because I know it's sensitive for you, but were there bones all backwards?
His eyes widened. They were, and they were fixed to each other like they were fused. Never seen nothing like it.
Just like the goats back at the other ranch. It's a strange thing, and you never seen nobody creeping about the ranch that's unusual. No creepy animals, strange animals, any coyotes.
I'm gonna start looking for the signs of nature around here.
Yeah.
So
Go
is
for
this
it.
anything-
Or is
He
that
says,
going to be natural world?
I don't know nothing natural or unnatural around here. You can go ahead and give me a psychology roll. Whoever wants
Can I
to.
ask
As you're
can I ask if
listening.
you've seen anything squiggly, like what I saw in the kids' room? Like snaky.
Ooh,
Thanks.
I've got an extreme on
So-
the psychology.
He's trying to answer you, Ruth, and then James comes in like, "Have you seen anything squiggly?" And he's like, "No," and he's 100% lying.
Oh, okay.
Just
You
he
know,
just goes
it's
unblinking. Nope.
Are you sure? Walter, Winslow, sorry. Here, have a drink. Maybe that'll loosen your lips, and I hand him a hip flask.
He
got his
sniffs it.
own.
Yeah, he's got his special brew.
Yeah, but Ruth also has whiskey.
Yeah, I also have whiskey.
Because she understands. He takes a swig. He gives it back to you. From the Petersons. I don't know why they keep using corn for their whiskey, but never gives it a bite. What was your question?
Forgot.
I want to look for signs of the same signs of the animals not being within a certain range. Like the birds
so-
and the
So one thing
Would
you
that be
notice
ne-
is that you do hear what you're supposed to hear around here. You do hear bugs. You do hear animals. You see rabbits. You can see, a snake underneath a bush. Everything here looks the way it should look.
That was the question. I asked him if he'd seen anybody or any strange animals or anything creeping around the ranch, and I knew he was lying.
Specifically
Yes,
squiggly, because that's
And
what,
something
yeah.
squiggly. That was it. Yeah.
Because I saw
Yeah.
something.
James had said,
Picture.
"Have you seen something squiggly anyway?" Definitely not. And that's when he was lying. And I was like, "Have a drink and then have a wee remember." That's what the question was.
Now, one thing, Blackhawk, I will say that you do notice something a bit unusual. Not unusual. It sparks your interest a wee bit. Dotted around the property, well, dotted around this area, you're not really sure what its property limits are. You do see a number of medicinal plants, sage bushes, specific type of cacti that are used for healing, and you also see some plants that are associated with warding away evil spirits. It looks like they
And
are haphazardly planted about, but they are all within the area.
but the other property didn't have that.
No. It is uncommon for the area where the settlers have gone to for them to keep these native plants because they don't fully understand what they are. So they don't cultivate them.
I'm gonna go look at them.
Yeah. And he watches you walk off. He seems to be the most comfortable with Blackhawk. He kind of gives no mind to Blackhawk. Ruth, he seems to be the most polite towards you. Caldwell, he did level a gun at you.
Yeah, we got his hand
Like,
shot
hey
off
man,
for
you're the
doing it.
man. You're the man. You gotta stick to the man. But
So is that going to be spot hidden or natural world?
Natural world. He looks at you, Ruth, and he can kind of tell that he's like, I'm not good at lying. That's what Ethel always said. And there's a pause. My sister, not the horse.
I was just gonna say, is Ethel his sister and the horse? Because that took a turn. I was like,
oh, right, okay. Okay.
She was a petite little thing, just like Ethel right here. So I figured Ethel was an appropriate name.
Nah, it's a
So-
good enough name for a horse. Yeah, it's a nice name. It's a nice name.
There may or may not have been something, possibly, that could have come from Bethany that may have been burned up in a fire.
Something come from Bethany.
Was it
b-
blue?
like Bethany birthed something.
And he whips around when you say, was it blue? Have you seen some blue? What have you seen that's blue? Turns back to Ruth, have you seen something blue? Who's seen something that's blue? You blue? Hmm?
Tell me what came out of what name did he say? Brittany.
And there's a pause. And he takes out his flask again and drinks from it. All right, this is going to sound a little fantastical. All right, but I just need you to stay with me on this, okay? It looked like another Bethany came out of Bethany. Now, what I mean by that is I was watching them because they've been acting a bit weird lately. And I was just having a chat with Serafina, and he points off in the distance. You cannot tell which horse he's pointing at. I was chatting with Serafina, and I look over, and all the ladies are walking around in a circle. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I hop on in the circle with them, trying to figure out what they're looking at. So I figure, oh, maybe we're just stargazing. I can't tell. And then I noticed Bethany, she's just standing in the middle. And I saw something weird wiggle on her belly. So once I went to go over to look at it, all of a sudden, Bethany just stood up on 2 legs. Have you ever seen that? I thought she was going to hit me. Nope. She just stood up on 2 legs, and then all of a sudden, her stomach just split open, and another Bethany came out. But it wasn't looking proper. Her skin was inside out. In the ribs, all wrong. So I shot her. And I immediately torched the body.
You fought her.
I did.
So we killed both the Bethany. So when one came out, the other one disappeared, or were they together, or there was two at the same time?
I think it ripped her apart when it came out of her.
Yeah, you can see he's like trying to gesture. He's like, she came out like this. And it's just, it doesn't look appropriate what he's doing. But no, there are 2 Bethanies. it's just the abnormal Bethany was sticking out of the old Bethany, and then the old Bethany was like peeling apart and turning inside out and becoming the new Bethany. But then when I shot her, all this blue stuff came out. Some of it splashed up onto Kimberly, and some of it splashed up on Ethel. And the next, a week later, same thing happened to Kimberly. And it's about to be another week, which means it's going to happen to Ethel.
And is Ethel separate from the other horses? Like you put her in like a stable or something?
I look around for a stable.
Sick. I'm not going to separate her. She's sick. That will, you know what separation does to a horse? You can't just put him alone, away from her sisters. I've been watching her.
Yeah, you kind of do. That's like, I mean, we've got a new female doctor in the town, and she would probably come and tell you that you need to separate Ethel.
You can't trust doctors. Okay. Next announcement.
Can we see Ethel?
Yeah, and he turns back and just puts his hand on a horse that is mixed in with all the other horses. This black and brown horse, or white and brown horse. Ethel's right here.
What time of day did this circling thing happen?
When the moon was up.
But it's happening weekly?
Mm-hmm.
How many days ago did this circling thing happen?
Not the first time?
Well, most recently.
Sure.
Or first time it happened. Oh, last time 7 days ago.
So I think back. What was the moon phase?
Gibbous.
So halfway.
Mm-hmm.
What was that word? Does it mean something?
Well, if it's happening every week, every 7 days, that means that the moon, because the moon cycle is a 28-day cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So every week, roughly a week, it shifts by about a day or so every cycle, but it's like more like 29 days. But every week is a quarter of the phase. So halfway full, all the way full, halfway gone, all the way gone. And that cycle is about a week, is like 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a significant day within the cycle, but the thing is the goats, it started happening every night.
It started every day, and then it slowed down.
So I'm
to
wondering
every
if that's
second,
closer to the full moon. And I'm trying to remember. I don't remember
Maybe.
if Gibbous is heading towards the full moon or heading towards the new moon. I can't remember.
So what George was telling you is for the goats, it was happening every night for essentially a month, like every night for a month. And then it started to dissipate and get longer in between each death.
Was there anything significant about that time period?
Maybe we should stick around on the ranch here tonight. If it's tonight he's expecting it to happen, maybe we should stick around here.
So just for all of you, the only things you could think of that would have been particularly special about the month that the Spritzes had their incidents at its peak, that was the rainy time for your area. So that when I say rain, like it's not rain as we know. Well, Brian, it's rain that you know. So it would rain and it would cause like little flash floods. So there was more water in the area. That's the only thing that would have been significant in that month that could have affected the entire region that you can think of, or just would have been special between last month and this month.
So it was the wetter part of the year. Which,
I mean, if this is the
sort
thing,
of goop,
if this blue thing spreads by touch, then rain could make it spread onto more things, I guess.
That would be the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
I check Ethel out with some form of like medicine, natural world, to see if she looks like horse-like. You know, like
she's
not sick or
whatever you want to use.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever skill you think will be appropriate for Caldwell to use.
I think natural world.
And I'll say, Ruth, just because you're trying to ascertain, like, is this even like property that he owns? You do know that the horses appear to be very easy to handle, suggesting that they are tamed.
That they are his, yeah.
You don't see horseshoes on any of them, but sometimes that's not really a big issue. There's plenty of times you've seen horses without shoes on.
Do I see saddles and saddlebags and blankets and everything in a barn and like, in a stable? Like,
There's no stable, but when you walked by the shack, that's the only structure that's out here, so it has to be where he lives. You did notice that there was a post outside that did have a saddle on it.
okay, so he does ride at least one horse sometimes. But he's a horse breeder and seller. He's okay. So it's
But no, yeah. So James, you're looking at this horse. She looks like a horse. She looks like a normal
found it.
horse.
Yep. Nothing. Yep.
we work detective.
Well, no, I mean, we're pretty sure she's the one something's going to happen to, so, you know, if anyone else wants to take a look, if she's got, like, infected.
I'm glad none of that
check
blue
her
stuff
teeth,
got
smell her breath.
that blue stuff almost got on me, you know. I'm very, very, very glad it didn't.
So I'm going to check her teeth, smell her breath, see if there's a sweet smell in her mouth.
All right, so you go to inspect. Teeth look pretty good, pretty nice, healthy horse. You're looking her over, giving her some patch. She feels pretty good. Her stomach feels pretty solid. And as you're looking her over, you do smell, with that hard success, you do smell something sweet, but it's not coming from her. Something on the breeze catches your nose. And when you look
Turn in that
up, you
direction.
can see there's a creek over in that direction.
I go walk towards the creek.
I follow him when I see him going towards the creek.
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden, listen, whatever you want to give. Woo, extreme success.
Wow.
Yep, here goes the sanity, guys.
No, this
So you
is
go
how
over
we
to the
solve
creek.
it. We just keep getting extremes so we solve it straight away.
And you're giving it a smell, you're looking around, and it's coming from the creek, but it's not coming from like the water itself. There's something specific here. There's a single point. And as you start to examine it, you can see like there's some outcroppings of rock every once in a while. And you're kind of circling in. You go and you lean down, you're holding onto a stone, and I need you to go ahead and give me a dodge. Ruth, as you're looking around, you can see frogs, you see fish in this water. Little guys, though. You're not seeing anything in particular until all of a sudden there is a flash of blue that catches your eye, Ruth, and you look over as you see Blackhawk just immediately dodge like this as something bright blue just shoots past his head from underneath the rock.
Where'd it go?
Just something bright blue. Is that all I see? Just blueness.
Yep, something bright blue. I need everybody to give me a spot hidden.
Okay. I made one I was walking up and failed. Is it okay to make another one?
No, we're now looking for the blue. As you all turn around, you can see this blue thing snaking its way across the ground.
Towards,
away from you and towards the horses.
I yell, shoot it.
Yeah, I pull my rifle out and start shooting at it.
Go ahead and give me a shoot. As Ruth immediately whips out the rifle, levels it, starts to pull the trigger. It is shifting in reaction to these rounds hitting the earth, making it very hard to hit. It's about a foot long, about 12 inches long.
I believe I can't push, but I can spend luck, right?
For an attack, you can spend luck. However, before you spend that luck, I will say, as you're shooting, all of a sudden, hooves come out of nowhere and immediately stomp the shit out of this thing.
Oh,
As Becky the donkey, very upset with her horses being threatened by the snake, as she perceives it, begins to stomp the ever-loving shit out of this blue thing.
who did that?
It's a donkey.
A donkey.
It's a guard donkey.
A guard
The
donkey.
donkeys protect horses from snakes and coyotes.
Donkeys are awesome.
And alpacas protect sheep.
One second. Oh my god, she wrecks this thing. Oh no.
Problem is she's going to get infected, isn't she?
It's gonna splash on her. It's donkey out its misery.
Apparently,
She is stomping this thing. And so one of the ways that donkeys fight is they have no issue biting something. She reaches down, picks it up, and slams it against the ground multiple times, stunning it.
As soon as she's let go of it, can we shoot at it?
Oh yeah, you don't have to. It's stunned. You don't have to roll. You will hit it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna definitely. I'm gonna shoot it if I can. Is that gonna make it an easy roll?
It's going to be an automatic success.
Okay. Then I won't. Then I don't need to
It's
roll, I
not
guess.
moving. Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
not
gonna
moving.
shoot it with my Winchester.
You shoot it, and bullet or arrow?
It's a bullet.
Bullet immediately hits it, sinks into it, like it's like mud. It hits it like it's like you just shot mud, and the blue just kind of encases itself over the bullet.
I'll go just grab my bow and
touch it.
arrow kit
Yeah, don't touch that. John.
and
You
draw
won't go
an
near it.
arrow and shoot it with an arrow and see what it does.
You shoot with an arrow, and the arrow hits it, but instead of encasing it, you can see where the arrow has sliced through it, and now a blue liquid starts to come out.
I think we should burn it. Set it on fire.
Should set it on fire.
Yeah, I'll ask Winslow if he's got a fire going in his cabin.
Winslow is standing there, absolutely shocked with what he just saw.
We can get a fire going.
Winslow, fire!
I knew it.
Fire. Winslow, get
I
some
knew it
fire. Bring
was
some fire out
real.
here.
I knew it. I knew that's what I saw. That's what I saw. And he's walking up to it.
Go and get a burning
That's what I
log out your fire, Winslow. I'll start grabbing some small sticks so that we can build I'll build some sticks around it. I'll just lay some sticks around it.
Well, he comes out. He has a flint with him, so he starts to strike the flint to get flames going. And you build a little teepee of fire over it. No, it burns, and it creates the most acrid burnt
Staying
sugar
well away
smell.
from the smoke. Staying
you've ever
well away from the
experienced.
smoke.
And then I'm going to check the
Winslow
donkey
is-
over.
Yeah, you can see Becky. She's just like she's
Wash her
staring at
legs.
it, waiting for the fire to die down. Occasionally, like pawing at the ground.
I know, but I want to make sure that none of this blue stuff stayed on her. So
Wash
I'm going
her
to do
legs.
animal handling on her to try to look at her hooves.
Yeah, go
Hopefully
ahead.
this goes.
Oh,
It's not going to be very good. Anybody got better animal handling than me?
I have
I'm
got
gonna
good
tell you
animal
what I'm
handling,
doing.
yeah. Let me have a
I'm
look at
explaining
her.
what I'm trying to do.
Let me have a look at
Yeah,
her.
you're gonna better than me.
Let me have a wee look at her. Oh no, I don't. I've got a 5 in animal handling. I don't know where any idea that I had better than you came from. Maybe that was
35
before I
wasn't
changed
better.
Came in
characters.
so confidently.
Well, I've got a 5 in animal handling.
I know what I'm doing. I have no
I
fucking
have
clue.
no idea what I'm doing. Because I originally picked a different character. I think I must
Just
have
like
had a
a
look at her
sheep.
sheet.
I think Doc Samson has a good show. It's all right though. Well, you both try to go check out Becky, but she is very
I'll
much
ask Winslow
she's
if she
on
know-
duty
if
right
she
now.
can take a
She's
look.
working. Winslow, he immediately comes over. He's like, Becky.
We're looking for
And
any
he
of that
goes
blue
and grabs
stuff
her head.
on her feet.
Well, she immediately bites him.
Oh.
And now she is gripping his arm in her teeth. He's looking at her. I don't see any blue stuff. Is that all right? Should there
Yeah,
be
that's
blue
what-
stuff?
No,
Should
that's
there not
what
be
we
blue
We're
stuff?
want.
not
That's
looking.
what we
We're
want.
looking to make sure blue stuff didn't stay on her.
That's what you want, so that's what we want.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Alright,
I'll be like,
alright.
I'm gonna try and whisper these guys that we don't know fucking shit. Like, I think we
I
might
mean, it
need
could have
to.
already absorbed if it had. If it.
Yeah, we don't know. It's like, would I know if is there a vet in town? Like, someone must look
Must
after
be.
horses when they have issues. So, because I think we should get. We're not good enough at looking at animals.
I think
'cause
vets are
is
very
there-
common, right? Because there's so many horses.
So vets are definitely a thing where you are.
Mhm.
Having such educated people, that's where the struggle comes in. So you have a doctor in town that would know
Okay.
some animal husbandry.
I'm just worried that we might be like I
Most of the
I
time
haven't
you're-
seen what these guys have said, and I think this might be disease. And my duty a little bit is to help the town. And I think that if we don't exactly know that some of these things could be infected, they could affect all the horses in the town a bit. So I'm a bit like, at best we need to get a second opinion. At worst, we just need to take out at least the two bad horses, the donkey and the Ethel, and right.
Are
I
you
think
saying
that's
this
it.
out loud? Are you saying
No,
Are
I
you
was like,
saying
I'm like,
that out loud?
Okay, I'm just making sure.
not like,
As
not
with-
taking out his
You might get another gun in the face from Winslow.
reincarnated sister. Yeah, no, I'm whispering what you, because it's a tense situation, and we don't know. The horses and donkey could be fine, but they might not be.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna stick
Winslow,
around here
he's
tonight
asking.
and watch if
Okay,
these
so you're gonna
horses
stay,
start
'cause
walking
Winslow's
around
asking
in a
what you
circle.
want.
Yeah, no, I think we're
I
gonna
would
stay here
suggest
tonight.
that we quarantine these two, Ethel and the
Mhm.
donkey, and
Yeah.
for the
Separate them.
night and see what
I know you don't-
happens.
I know you don't like to Winslow, but we're gonna separate your horses.
If you want to, you can stay with them.
Well, where are we supposed to put him?
Just to make sure that they're not right next to the other horses.
Yeah, we can put them on a post next to the barn.
And you see, he looks. I don't have a barn.
It's
I
just-
don't
it's
need a
just
barn.
Next to your shack,
It's got this little, yeah.
Your house, sir.
your house, whatever you
Okay,
want to call that
understood.
thing.
He's like, come on. Well, he says, come on, ladies, before he stops, looks at Becky. Becky will come in when her shift is over. She's still on duty right now. She takes her job very seriously. You can see large teeth marks on his arm from where she bit him.
That's what I mean. I think
he
he's
just-
infected, so you guys can hang out with these three little infected.
When we see the
boys. I'm
teeth
gonna-
marks, has it like broke the skin when it's bit him?
Yeah, I broke the skin.
Oof.
He's bleeding lightly.
Oof.
That's
a,
not
He doesn't
uncommon.
seem
though,
to
for a
mind.
donkey.
That's a serious
I don't
bite.
think. I think we should stay in the cabin and then say that, we know he wants to spend time with his horses and trick him to stay outside, because I think he might, turn
Might be the next one.
possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, or he might not turn tomorrow or tonight.
Just as an
but he's-
afterthought, I'll look at him and say, "Hey, did you happen to get that blue stuff on you as well? Was it just the horses?"
Give me a social roll.
Ooh.
You can choose which one.
Half tempted to go with intimidation since I've got that pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Use what you've got.
Yeah, unfortunately. Actually, I'll go with psychology.
That's not a social role. You have to do, when it's a social role, you have to do intimidate, persuade, charm, or fast talk.
Mhm.
Okay.
You have to do one.
So
of the four.
psychology is just essentially.
Well, my
Um,
intimidation's a
Psychology
55,
is
so
roll
a
for
38
bullshit.
would have succeeded, or do you want me to re-roll?
I'm gonna keep that psychology. Go ahead and roll me the intimidation as well.
Okay.
Nice.
That fits. So looking at Winston, he's already lied before. So, you're asking like, have you had any of that blue stuff on you? And just like looking at his body language, you're like, this guy's not going to tell me the truth because you just shot this thing twice. Ruth was able to shoot his weapon out of his hand. So you kind of put your bow and arrow away, but now you take out your hunting knife as you ask him, did you get blue stuff on you? And he's just, well, I got a little on me, but it's not a big deal. I went to the doctor. He says that he doesn't seem like he's lying when he said he went to the doctor. Caldwell, you know for a fact this man he never goes into town. So if he went to a doctor, the doctor would have had to have either come out here to see him, which the doctor would never do, or he would have had to have seen a medicine worker from one of the tribes. Like, you can't think of any other way he saw a doctor.
Has he hung out with the Hopi before?
No one. No.
So he hangs out with I forget what was the other one that was up there.
You know for a fact he would not hang out with Apache because the Apache would kill him on sight for going into their territory. You know, the Navajo have been staying away from the settlers. They've been playing the whole, you don't talk to us, we don't talk to you, and we'll keep it that way game.
Okay. So
Be here tonight and watch what happens to these sources then.
Yep.
Yeah, because we can't get a message to town, right? Because there's no telephones or anything, and we can't like send a message, even like send a, yeah, unless one of us, yeah, no neighbors.
Send a horse.
Yeah, I think telegrams are a thing, and telephones are just about to be a thing, right?
Yeah, but he's not going to have one in his little shack,
No.
is he? So we're kind of, unless if we saw lights and there was someone traveling past, I might flag them down, but I don't think that's going to happen. He doesn't live like on a, he doesn't live on like a main route, right? He's kind of just on his own.
He does not. He does not.
So
These ranches are specifically off of main roads to ensure that nothing happens to their cattle.
Yeah.
But he will offer, he can send a horse with a message if you want.
Yeah, go on. Just for the sake of it.
Might as well.
All right, what message would you like?
I think we should ask for like a whoever the local doctor is, to say there's maybe a.
I don't know that the doctor's going to be able to do anything for him. I was thinking of trying to signal the medicine man for the Hopis. See if we could get him to come down. But he's not my main I had a contact, but I don't think that's him.
Blackhawk, you can send that message if you like. You can send up a smoke signal.
Smoke signal?
So I'm going to try that.
Cool.
And see if I can't get... No, I've got a contact. Where is that at?
You could simply send, like, you could signal for help, either help danger or help medicine.
Help medicine.
Okay. I'm gonna say you kind of go off to the side. You get some shrub brush. You get it wet, so that way it smokes more. As you start to burn it, you send your signal up, and you see that Winslow. He looks over. I don't need any of your doctors. All right, I got my own. It's fine.
What do you mean you got your own?
So one, Blackhawk, he recognizes your signals. He understands how to read them. And you did not know that any of the settlers here could do that. Two, you asked that, Ruth, and he kind of looks off to the mesa. There's one mesa here that's much more prominent than all the others, to which people just refer to as the mesa. Mm-hmm. He looks off towards the mesa before he looks over to you.
That's alarm bells.
There's, lots of people out here. Now, Blackhawk, that mesa is a sacred site to all of the indigenous folk here. No one goes there. I'm not going to say It's cursed or haunted, but you don't go there because your people believe it's already inhabited by something
Yeah.
that's not meant to
I'm
be
already-
around people.
But why are you looking over there? Nobody goes over there.
What?
Why are you looking over there
Where?
when I mention a doctor? Nobody goes over there.
Well, of course nobody goes over there. Nobody goes there.
Where's your doctor
Who goes
from?
there? What?
What doctor?
Doctor?
You said you have a doctor. Who's the doctor?
Yeah, it's doctor.
Who's your doctor?
Its name's Doctor.
Doctor. From where?
Yep.
What? From where? Where does he practice medicine?
Insight check on the off chance that his name is Doctor.
Give any check you think is appropriate.
I'm rolling for bullshit. It's
Psychology.
psychology.
I already know it's bullshit. I don't have to roll.
I do, but I'm doing
Oh,
it to more like
fumble.
humor him.
My problem is that I think
Oh,
I know. That's my problem.
You believe him then, and I think I know he's.
No, I
lying.
don't believe him. I think I
So
know.
you all know
and
he's
I-
lying. You all
Right.
know he's lying. But why is he lying? Caldwell,
Is there a name
He's
for that?
lying.
For those people?
what people that lie or
No, the people that live on the mesa. Do we have a name for them?
sky people? But Caldwell, you know he's lying.
Mhm.
Whoever he is referring to, there's a good chance that they're probably not like a real doctor. They might just be like literally a snake, oil salesman. Could just be
Okay.
like another kook out there. Who
But
knows
he's
who
not
it
like
is?
it's not like crazy. It's not like he thinks there's
No,
he's
there's-
referring to like he's
Yeah.
referring to a real person. Okay, that's
No, yeah, he's
something.
definitely referring to somebody, but he didn't think of a lie before he said that. Whoever he's referring to, he does consider them to be a medical professional of some kind. But Garner, out in these parts, you have robbers, you have cattle rustlers who are stealing from other people, and you have true snake oil salesmen. These poisoners that are around there. And of course, one of these people will call themselves Doctor. He most likely saw one of those individuals, which means he didn't get any help at all. This guy's definitely infected with something.
I just noticed, by the way, further down on my character sheet, I've actually got a animal handling of 55. I knew
roll
I had
that
a good
one.
animal handling. Yeah, there's one at the top left, but there's also another one. 55. It's like you've added it in additional and then forgot there was one at the top left.
Oh, go ahead and roll that one. See if you can get some more info on Becky. Hard success.
Nice.
But yeah. No, Becky was clean as a whistle.
Becky
When
was
you
clean.
didn't see any
Okay.
traces of anything. Yeah, you didn't see any traces
until
of
this
anything.
thing comes to fruition. I don't think we'll see anything.
Nope. I think we'll see
Um,
what happens tonight.
Ruth, you're looking at this guy like he clearly saw some type of criminal. In Winslow, he can see it in your eyes. He's just like, ma'am, I swear it's a proper doctor, all right? One of the smartest doctors you're ever gonna find. Okay? So don't Don't worry about it.
leave it alone.
Yeah. You'll
But
be,
my
I'm sure
thought
you're
is,
going to be
is
fine.
if all three of them survive the night, we're good. And if they don't, if one of them doesn't, we're probably going to lose all three.
I'm going to be looking at you guys this first just because I heard you talking about the blue stuff. I'm like, maybe you guys should sleep outside.
It didn't touch me.
I don't think we're going to sleep. I think we're staying up to watch what happens. And I never touched it. I never touched the blue stuff.
Insight check. No, I'm not going to do it on the table.
Well, so here's the thing. Ruth, while you're looking at Winslow, he looks to be a little insulted right now with the way that
I don't care.
you just look like you really just don't believe him. And he is very adamant that like he really did see a doctor and he can prove it to you. He's like, I have medicine, all right?
Let me
And
see
he
your
stomps
medicine.
away. He stomps away to his
That'd be
little
something
shack.
I'd be curious about.
And he comes back and he's just like, all right, I got medicine just like any normal doctor. Okay, so I got to drink this little powder right here. That's one of the things here. And then I got to sleep with this stone. All right. And then that ensures that I'm fine. However, the stone in the powder is not enough for Ethel. She's too big. Okay? And he's like waving this pouch in front of you, and he gives it a squish, and some powder comes out of it and immediately hits you in the face. And when he's holding the stone, he also touches the stone to you.
To who?
What's
This is
this?
to Ruth.
What the fuck?
As her penetrating gaze, as she was trying to do some psychology on this person, was way too strong. He felt the need to justify himself.
Get your weird shit away
Ruth,
from me.
this powder hits your face. You feel it. You feel something hard hit your shoulder as he presses the stone up to you to show that it's real. And just your vision gets bright pink for some reason, and you're just like, Jesus, as this thing just immediately shoots up your nose. It's incredibly spicy, for lack of a better word. You've breathed in dust before. You're not sure what the hell he just put in your face. And as you try to like wipe your face away, you wipe your face, you open your eyes, and you are not standing in the shack.
No.
Or rather, in front of the shack. You're not standing in front of the shack. You look around, and you're on top of some type of flat rock, and you just see an expanse of stars above you. And you freeze. Because you can still hear Winslow talking to you, telling you, like, no, I definitely saw a doctor. And as you look, you can see up at the stars, because you know for a fact it's daylight. You can feel the sun on your skin. You know it's daylight. You can feel the sun. But you look up at the sky full of stars, and then you see what your mind can only say is a ripple in the sky itself, a ripple in the darkness. And you see something reaching out of that darkness, something, a void coming out. You can't explain what it looks like, because all you can say is it's just the absence of something reaching down to touch you right on your forehead. And then all of a sudden you're back in the sun in front of Winslow, and he's giving you a nod. I need you to make me a sanity roll.
Back away from me. Oh no.
Oh yes.
So that's a 1d6.
Oh, okay. I need to catch up my notes here.
As you have breathed in his medicine. Caldwell Blackhawk, you see, Winslow waving the stuff around in front of Ruth's face.
Only the one.
And you see that there's a spot where she kind of like freezes for a second as something clearly got into her face before she comes out of it. Just the one.
Just the one.
I just stay silent for a minute while I'm trying to think about what just happened.
And he's just like, so, as I said before, I saw the doctor and I'm fine.
Who's the doctor that gave you this medicine? And I'm backing away from him the whole time.
As you're backing away, he looks at you. You saw them.
I saw nothing. What are you talking about?
You saw them, ma'am. I know you did.
I saw nothing. What are you talking about?
You got the same look on your face that my sister did every time she came back from the doctor's visit. You got the same look. You saw them too. And he just puts the items back. He walks back into his little shack, puts the items away, comes right back out. All right. So you said that we had to separate Ethel? And just continues to talk as if nothing happened.
Yeah, and the donkey.
I'm gonna try and
get the night. They should be okay.
I'm gonna try and get John and James away from him for a second to tell him what happened when that powder went up my nose.
Winslow, he walks off to go grab Ethel. You can hear him talking to her, as he's just letting her know that she just has to spend the night by the tree, just for observation. It's gonna be okay, as he's trying to soothe this horse.
Excuse me. I'm gonna try and to explain to John and James what happened when that medicine went up my nose. What I saw, where I went.
So you were
Yeah,
on the Mesa?
I'm not letting you come too close to us in case it's still infecting you with your pink dust.
Felt like it looked like a mesa. And the stars were above me. I could still feel the sun of the day on me, but I could see the stars and saw this void in the sky, this blackness, this hole, this nothingness reaching down from the sky out of the stars. It was strange, the weirdest thing ever. He's got some sort of magic medicine powder stuff, and some of it got in my nose, and I breathed it in, and made me see things, made me hallucinate. It's like the peyote, like one of them.
I would nod in agreement that he could have some powdered peyote.
I think I just had some of that, or something like that.
Or
I think you sound crazy to me. I think maybe you're on the verge of staying outside.
So
Just-
Blackhawk, I will say that peyote,
I'm just
it
agreeing
takes time
just
to
to
take
agree.
effect. Okay, but
I'm just
you
agreeing
would
to
know,
agree.
you would have this knowledge that once you take on the effects of peyote, it takes some time to come out of it. It's not like
Yeah,
a snap
not like
out of it type of
instantaneous
thing.
like this was.
Yeah.
But I'm agreeing to agree just to alleviate the situation some. Although my thought is he and I are staying outside as well. Or she and I should say, are staying outside as well.
This is where we found out the cabin's a fucking mimic, and I'm like, aha, I'm inside.
Yeah, and you get eaten.
Well, I will say,
don't give GMs ideas.
Caldwell, if you were like inspecting the shack because you're like, I'm not staying out here. When you look inside of it, it's about it's not big. It's maybe like 8x8. An 8x8, just one room, similar to the Spritzes, but just much smaller. Same,
Okay.
wood burning stove on the side. There are 2 beds in here.
Well, he was married.
Well, it's his sister.
No, it was his sister.
I'm sorry, not married, sister.
There's 2 beds in here.
They could still have been
And-
married.
And you do see that there are
There's one horse size. It's like a normal man bed and then a massive horse bed.
Exactly. It's just a bunch of hay.
Yeah.
No. You see that there's like 3 dresses that are hung up over one bed.
But there's
the bed's
not
made,
looks
untouched.
there's not 2 rooms, right? So it's not like I can let them in one room. It's just a shack with nothing. It's no walls or yeah. Okay. Yeah, you guys might. I'm sure he's got a tent or some sheets you guys can have. Oh, this
I'm
is
not
a
sleeping
nice
outside.
dress,
I'm not sleeping
There's
outside.
a nice dress there.
I'm
There's a nice
sleeping
dress,
inside.
Ruth.
You're fine. I'm sleeping inside.
So it's gonna take him about an hour.
I ain't sleeping. We're
to
gonna
get the
we're gonna
donkey
stay
away
and
from the
watch anyway.
horses.
We're not sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm getting my gun out. I'm aiming it at everyone and getting prime position to like. Yep, I've seen movies. I know. I want that.
Winslow looks over.
There's no scene
That's a good idea. And he goes and he brings out way too many guns.
Sweet. Now I like him again.
None of you have to roll. You immediately recognize rifles that's normally used by the cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
As he brings out like 7 of them.
Wow.
And he loads them all. And he starts to set them up, and he arranges it so that there's a string running through them. He's essentially setting it up so he's making a firing squad with this.
So aimed at the horses or at us or as some form of protection.
No, he makes it, and he's just like, all right, where do you want to set this up?
I mean,
I got enough for 30 volleys.
I mean,
Well, I hate to tell you this, but aiming it towards these 2 separated horses might be the best option.
No, we're supposed to be saving Ethel.
Well, it maybe
That's
that
not how
we
you
are
save
saving
Ethel.
the rest.
How do you propose
My
to
hope
save
is
save
that we
Ethel then?
save Ethel.
And if that's not how we save Ethel, how do you propose that we save Ethel?
My hope is that we
I
save
don't
Ethel.
know.
But I would like to make sure that we can at least save the rest.
it's your job. You came here to help, so
You might have to lose
how do I
Ethel to
save
save the
Ethel?
rest.
I
mean, we
don't
could-
believe that.
We could just fire it like so it's at the entrance to the cabin, and then we can always run that and then trigger the trap if it chases us or something. When I mean us, I mean you guys, because I'm staying at the back of the cabin with my gun. But when you guys go crazy as well.
So I mean, I will try to
Alright.
explain it as gently as I can. That
But Winslow's just like, oh, you know what? Okay. So I have an idea. I have an idea. So here's the thing. So if y'all can collect these plants for me, I'll go and collect some plants, and we'll meet back here. And he gives you like a random list of plants to collect. And then we'll meet back here. Okay? Well, we
No.
gotta be fast though.
Why are we getting these plants though?
are these ones that I would know are warding plants?
These are plants that help to take care of unwanted pregnancies.
A horse can't get pregnant from a man, Winslow. Don't worry about that. And don't worry.
No,
Doesn't stop him doing it though, does it? That's the problem.
We can make it inhospitable, all right, inside of Ethel. So maybe the thing wants to go somewhere else.
Well, it didn't get into Ethel. If the
I don't
thing
think
from
it
the
gets
River
into
Creek was
Ethel the
trying to
same
get-
way that you get into Ethel, Winslow. I don't think it's doing it that traditional way. That's you're a creep.
Let me see. Winslow understands what you're.
No, he doesn't.
Guess who's not smart?
I mean, this guy is giving me I shag my horses vibes, like 100%. It's not just me that's getting
He's
that
like,
off
"Listen,
this guy, yeah.
Just get these goddamn plants, all right? We'll make it inhospitable, okay?" Now, one thing that you did recognize, Black Hawk, was one of them was just straight up poison. A horse would have to take in a lot of it, but it is straight up poison. And just based off of that, you get the sense that he's just trying to combine a couple of different things that he think might kill parasites.
That's what that's pretty
Uh,
much where I was thinking he was going with it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Hear me out.
opposed-
So we get these plants. We get
I'm
these
not
plants,
opposed
all
to
right? We
helping
get
him,
I'm not opposed either.
All right.
so
I don't.
go
I'm-
get the
but I
plants.
don't
Yeah,
think it's going to help. But I'm not going to say that to him. But I'm not opposed to trying to help.
Same.
Yeah, but we could always give the horse too much of the stuff and then kill it anyway if it starts going slightly funny.
True.
I mean, that's the reason why I want to separate these three from
Mhm.
everything else, in case one of these three turns today.
Yeah.
Because given that the donkey was just exposed to it,
I think one of them is going to turn tonight. That's why we're
So
staying
I'm-
here, eh?
so we
Oh,
see
the other
that-
thing, if something might come out of the water again anyway. It might not, even if they don't turn, something else might.
Yeah,
So,
I was fixing to
it's
go and check
away.
the creek bed. I was going to go and look for these plants down by the creek bed. So I was going to navigate the creek bed one more time.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
So
Um,
spot hidden or natural world?
give me a natural world, please. Anybody else so can give me a spot hidden. You can
Okay,
maintain that
that's push.
natural world. You can push it if you like.
I'm going to push it.
You can push
Maybe
it.
it just gets too late. Extreme success.
Don't
Oh,
do it.
wow.
You guys gotta fail these pushes, man. Jesus. You know how many times I've killed people before we got to this point? You guys aren't even hurt yet. Anyway. All right. Natural world. You find the plants easily. However, with that extreme
Yay.
success, as you're moving along this creek, one thing that you do notice, not notice, but you realize, especially like when the wet season comes, the creeks, the rivers around here, they will balloon very quickly because they're also being fed from the mesa. So during the wet season, water from the mesa also comes down and feeds into these smaller um, waterways.
Which is what I was
And as
thinking.
you're moving around, you're like, there's a lot of plants going around here right now. It's like, well, that makes sense. You just had your wet season, and then your eyes kind of naturally follow the creek, and your eyes drift up towards the mesa, and you're like, okay. The water from the mesa tends to run down in this direction, which is away from where your people are set up.
So I'm going to take the stuff, I'm going to give it to him, and then I'm going to request using his medicine.
Okay. So for those of you that did the spot hidden, you're looking around for the plants. You're finding a couple of them. Like Ruth, you know some of these healing plants, but you also know plants that are like, no, don't touch or eat that. So you're able to find some of them. Caldwell, are you looking for any plants, or are you kind of just hanging out?
No, because I'm worried in case anything suspicious happens around the cabin with the horses, so I want to keep an eye on it. And I was thinking I could maybe just light all the candles, maybe have a big fire, because I'm pretty sure these things either can be killed by fire or they might not like it. So I was going to do that and keep a tough eye on the horses and the crazy guy in case he starts like licking him or, blue stuff leaks out of him. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I'm staying around the hut thing. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, so we're going to say that you have plenty of kindle ready to go. You have bundles ready to be burned. So you have everything ready to make fire quickly. You do notice that Winslow kind of like goes off in a different direction than everybody else, and he's looking over his shoulder a bit. He makes eye contact with you briefly, and then he kind of just like runs off. So Ruth and Blackwell, you don't see this, but Caldwell, you watch as he comes back with a sheep.
Like
sheep aren't native here.
Is this his wife?
No.
This is his wife.
No. It's Penelope. All right, Ruth, how about you put some respect on that? No. So he comes up the sheep, he has a rope around his neck. You see him pulling the sheep. Caldwell, you do recognize this type of sheep here. You recognize that this sheep just comes from a ranch that's way out east, which means that he had to have gone there and stolen this sheep, or the sheep wandered over. Either way, this sheep does belong to the Jacobson's family.
Oh, the other ranch. I'm like, what? I'm gonna be like, what the? Like, what? Why? That makes no sense.
And you see, he just comes over to you. He gives you the rope. He's like, listen, all right, we can get this thing out. It's not going to come out though, unless there's something else for it to go back into. Okay, so you have to have something to go back into. All right, and there's nothing else here except for my girls. Okay.
So you know there's something inside it, and you're gonna put it inside this sheep.
He looks around, he sees that Ruth and John are not there, and he's just, all right. When Kimberly died, I thought I was able to burn all of them. One of them got away and hit Ethel. It's just the one, okay? It's just the one. We just got to get rid of the one.
Except it's using her as a breeding ground.
Yeah, and it might have affected poor I want to say Nick Jonas, whatever the horse is called, because he's doing all the horses, right? Adams. If Adam's infected, he's just gonna be. So I mean,
he's made a big point that he has failed to breed Adam so far.
Adam's gay.
Maybe, we don't know. Adam's living his life.
Maybe polyamorous.
We don't judge. We don't care.
I mean, I guess I'm like, this part, I'm just like, do you know what? Fine, because there's a lot of shit going on. But I'm like, we need to like have the guns then definitely aimed at Ethel, the donkey, and the sheep, because if it goes wrong, she's dead, and this way, all your other beautiful sisters will be alive. So, and I think Ethel would want that. I'll put my hand on it. No, I'm not putting my hand on it because he might be infected. I'll wave it. really
I'm gonna make a
reassuring
note.
wave, though. A really reassuring
I'm gonna make a
wave.
note. Just in case we come back to Feel Western and you get the same character, I'm gonna make a little note here that because you acknowledge that the horses are Winslow's family, you have gained immense favor with him. So you now get a
Sweet.
bonus die anytime you're using charm or persuasion with him.
Great, the
As
horse
he
shagger
just-
likes you.
I mean, everyone's got.
I understand. I
He's
understand.
part of the.
Thank you.
He's part of the town. But that's
Thank
good. So
you.
now we can put the guns facing them. But I'll say it's a last resort. I said we're not just gonna do this, but I mean, you know, and we probably need the sheep really close to the bonfire, but not too close because they're woolly and might set on fire before we need it. So
Yeah.
quite close, but not, you know.
So he's
I'm gonna
gonna
help
recommend.
organize that. Yeah, I'm gonna try and organize
He's
that.
gonna. He's
I think.
not a, yeah, he understands your plan right now. So what he's going to do is he's actually going to make a ring of shrub around all three, the horse, the donkey, and the sheep.
Mhm.
He's going to make it like 3 feet high. It's going to be pretty high because he knows that if need be, Ethel and Becky can jump over it. The sheep won't be able to jump over it. So he's just like,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Ruth and John, when you come back, Winslow is oddly much more friendly now towards Caldwell. Like he's listening to him. Caldwell just has to say something. Winslow just does it.
And he's
weird.
setting up this trap with the guns pointing at the
I
girls.
Yep.
I'll say I've sorted it. Don't ask where the sheep came from, but
I don't want to know where
Yeah.
the sheep came from.
but I'll again, and I'll make an excuse like, oh, come help me get the Kindle from the hut, guys, and I'm gonna whisper to them about what he told me about. He's trying to get the thing out and put it in this sheep, but I'm worried it's gonna go wrong and we'll have to like kill everything there.
Yeah.
So I'll explain what he's done with the trap so that they know.
Well, we
yeah,
have plenty
we're on the same
guns,
page.
so hopefully we can kill whatever comes out. Easy enough.
Yep.
All right. So you guys go off to the side to have that to update them. When you come back, you can see Winslow. The sheep is in this little thing. The sheep's just chilling, but you see Winslow is doing something. He's like pouring something over the sheep, and when you get closer, you realize he's started to take apart bullets, and he's dusting the sheep in gunpowder.
Jesus.
Oh.
It's going to
And
be a
he just looks
sacrifice.
Just in case, just to make sure we really get her burning.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's
you see
going to
he looks
help.
down.
Like, wow.
Oh, it'll help.
I mean, in my head, I'm gonna say we know that this sheep is like a really bad homophobe and racist, so I don't feel as bad.
Yeah,
it's a bad
suppose,
sheep.
yeah,
It's not like a
so bad then.
nice sheep. It's done
His
really
eyes
bad.
go
things.
wide. Did you hear the sheep say something inappropriate?
Yeah.
You can't trust sheep. You can't trust sheep. And he
Yeah.
just like,
Do you hear me?
"Oh, cover your ears."
It bit that disabled.
You should hear the
kid
ducks.
down.
They use foul language.
Ducks are dirty little creatures.
Right.
Adorable, dirty little creatures. But the stream finds out I
so
know
what
so
about
much
the-
about
the-
our animals.
The medicine. What does he allow me to use the medicine?
Yes.
Are you having a line, are
makes
you?
a comment. He's like,
The
should she
abort-
snort
the-
it? I don't know if I
the
can
ab-
get her. I think she has to eat it.
No, I was asking to use the medicines. I wanted to see if I could get a message to the Mesa.
You're going to take it?
The pink
Okay.
medicine. The pink medicine.
Okay. I will allow you to do that.
Okay.
How do you want to use it?
So I'm gonna just puff it in my face, breathe it in, hit myself with the rock, and as soon as I appear, I'm gonna try to speak in Hopi as loudly as I can. That something may have escaped from their mesa.
Okay. You feel a burning sensation in your nostrils and in your eyes. Spicy. As Ruth had described it, you're on top of a flat rock, but you do recognize, no, you're on top of a mesa. It's the red rock that all the mesas are made of. You recognize, rather, you don't recognize it, which means it has to be the mesa, because you know your area very well. You look up at the sky, and one thing that strikes you is the constellations are wrong. These are not your stars that you see here.
But I'm going to
As
shout as loud as I can.
you immediately begin to shout up, just trying to give this warning. Ruth had described the sky rippling. That does not happen. What happens is you call up to the sky, and then something tells you in your mind, hey, there's something behind you. You turn, and there's a man standing behind you. He looks Hopi. You do not recognize him. But he stands there, and he speaks to you in Hopi. And he gives you a greeting, and then he just simply asks, he makes an observation that your people go out of their way to not interact with the Mesa. And he is curious as to why you are here right now.
Because something has left from here and gone to us. Some blue thing. It is attacking animals.
Okay. He asks if there's anything else you can use to describe it.
It looks like liquid. Looks like water, but it's thicker.
He's going to pull out a pouch that you did not see on his person before. He opens it up. You smell that weird, sweet smell. Does it smell like this?
Yes.
He asked, did it touch you?
It has not touched me, but it has touched animals. And it is spreading and killing.
Okay. And as you're saying this, images form between you and him of your memories of what you've been doing for the past day. All of a sudden, George's voice begins to fill the space as he's recounting the things that he heard to Caldwell and to Ruth, as now everything in your mind is playing out in front of this other person who's there. See that they shake their head. He says, understood. And he sees what you have planned. And give me a psychology roll.
Oh yeah. Easy peasy.
You see, there's almost like there's a small smile that plays on his face, like an adult gets when children are doing something that's like it's adorable. And he just goes, okay. And he says, I understand what you're trying to do. And he's going to give you a pouch. He says, feed this to Ethel. And he smiles when he says the horse's name. He says, feed this to Ethel. And then be prepared. I cannot kill it outright. It will leave her body, but it will be fully matured. So you must be ready. I will do what I can to find the eggs up here. With that extreme success, you're watching as he looks very sympathetic towards you. And, you're paying attention to his face. And you start to see that some of the muscles in his face move abnormally. Muscles move where they shouldn't move. And for a split second, his eyes change. And they're no longer these dark brown eyes, but they are these bright gold reptilian eyes. And you blink and they're back to human eyes. And you can tell that he caught that you saw that. And he looks at you. And he goes, I am not a sky person. These creatures came when the sky people came. I am from the Mesa. You have another tale of lizard folk that live within the rocks. And it looks at you to see if you understand what it means when it says from within the Mesa. And it's this
caves.
As it turns to leave, yeah. Oh yes. Do you have anything else you want to say to it?
I'm listening.
It turns to leave and it pauses and it turns back to you. More and more strangers are coming to these lands. This will happen again. Parts of the world are being touched that aren't supposed to be touched. It is possible that my people might have to renew their relationship with yours. Can
I
you
will
speak with your people
speak
about
with
that?
I will speak with my chief and the elders.
Okay. He turns to go and then he stops one more time before he looks over. And now you don't see a person's face at all. You still see a human body, but looking back at you is a huge reptilian head. Its mouth moves. You see its throat work as human sound comes out, and it says, "The sky people are dangerous and stay away from them. The one human sister was too unfortunate, and they did take her. We don't want that to happen to anybody else. If the sky people make contact with you, kill them on sight if you can."
Are these
And
blue
you're
things the
back.
sky people? Oh, never mind.
It's too late. You're back.
That's fine.
As you
That's
tried to
fine.
ask that question. For everybody else, John he's standing there and he is stock still for over an hour. John, when you come back, the sun is setting before he blinks out, and you realize it is significantly
I
darker.
look for the pouch.
It's right on your waist, like it had been there the whole
I
time.
pick it up. Winslow, feed this to your horse.
He grabs the pouch.
It's medicine.
Do it, Winslow.
It will not kill the thing in her,
You saw the
but
doctor.
it will. Yes, I saw the doctor. But it will
Okay.
cause it to come out. And he said, "Be ready." And I grab my rifle, and I as I follow Winslow over.
I'll be loading my.
Does anybody else get ready?
I'll be loading my rifle and
Yeah, I
walking
think
over
we're
as
all ready,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been making a fuse to put in the sheep's mouth so I can light it and it'll go like a little bomb. No, I'm not. But it'd be funny to watch.
Braiding grass.
Yeah.
Like the sheep and worms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We dread the sheep
We
so that we
start.
can just use its fur as the fuse.
Just burn it.
Yeah.
It's a dreaded sheep.
Okay, I've got my gun ready. We're ready for the finale of hopefully not all dying.
He looks to Becky and says, "Becky, it's about to go down." And he turns over to Ethel, and it's just like, "All right, Ethel, you're gonna take this medicine, and then after everything's going on, I need you to get out of here, okay?" Ethel just looks at him. Ethel is a horse. Ethel's a normal ass horse, but it's a largely, it looks almost like an apple. She sniffs it before he just he convinces her to eat it, and then he just stands there. He's about a foot away from Ethel, just looking
Back
at her.
up.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Back
I will
up
grab
away
his
from
shoulder
her.
and pull him out
Yeah.
of the ring.
Ethel's just standing there. She looks over and starts to
And I
nibble
guess
at some of the
donkey's
brush.
going to be out of the ring for now too.
Becky was still in the ring,
Oh, okay.
but you see Becky, she was nibbling at some of the brush too before she stops and looks up and looks at Ethel. And Becky actually takes a step back, both ears facing forward. And she starts to paw at the ground. Her pawing is what makes Ethel stop, and Ethel looks up and she's now looking around, unsure of what's happening. The sheep is just standing there. Ethel looks fine. And then you do see something start to ripple underneath her side. At first you think that she just kind of shuddered a little bit, but it seemed to be completely separate from her skin. And then Becky is now starting to make sounds. She does not sound happy at all. She's backing up. She's actually at one point trying to push the sheep out of the way. So she's a good donkey. She's doing her job. And she's actually looking over to Winslow.
Getting covered in the gunpowder at the same time.
Becky doesn't know what gunpowder is. So, she starts to back up. Ethel's standing there looking calm as ever. You look over, you notice that the horses are also standing very calmly, about 50 meters away. They do not look at all upset with anything that's happening, nor do they look interested. And you see that the movement starts to get more violent in Ethel. Something seems to almost press against the side. Ethel continues to just stare at the ground, unmoving. Before you hear a rip. You hear something wet. You can't see anything at first as the gloam starts to set in. You hear something plop. Ethel continues to stand, unmoving. Becky has now stopped and is staring. Not entirely sure of what's happened. All of you please roll me spot hidden and a listen.
Oh, extreme on the spot hidden. And John did.
An extreme on the spot hidden. And a regular
You don't
success
hear
on the
anything
list.
at first. As Becky then becomes incredibly upset and you realize, oh, there's something moving underneath Ethel. Something starts to move. At first, it looks small, but then it starts to get much larger than anticipated. It's maybe the size of a goat, now the size of a sheep, as something
shooting.
steps out from underneath Ethel. You're shooting. Go ahead and shoot.
I'm also shooting if he's shooting.
Yeah, a shot rings out.
Oh, what a shot! What a shot, John! Good job, because I missed.
It's okay.
17 damage.
John, you were
17
ready?
damage.
You already had it
Ready.
leveled. This thing stands up, and you see what you can in the light that's starting to shine down from the moon. Something that looks wet and glistening. Looks like meat. It has like that reddish casting to it, and immediately the finger pulls and hits this thing right in the head. You can see there's a spray that comes out and bathes the back end of Ethel, who's still just standing there. You can hear Winslow scream for Ethel to run, which does snap her out of it, as Ethel all of a sudden kind of blinks and then bolts and just jumps right over the brush. This creature is standing there, and it just looks up to the sky and gives out this pained yell as it just stands there, shell-shocked at what just happened to it,
Anybody else shooting?
as it continues to grow.
I'll spend
Anybody
luck to
else
make
shooting?
that a hit. I'll spend luck. What is it? 19.
I don't do math? Sure.
It's 19.
Okay. 19, okay. You know, so you guys can volley it out. James, are you doing anything?
Yeah, I want to grab like a log from the fire and try and throw the, the fire.
Oh, so I need to roll damage. What's the damage on that?
3.
Oh yeah, it rolled it already, didn't it?
So 20. No, yeah, so you throw that. Caldwell, you light it up, and this creature is just so not having it. As now you can see in the full light, 6 legs, some type of double spine situation that's happening. These large vertebrae extending up and out like a Spinosaurus. The ribs flayed the wrong way like a butterfly.
Yeah.
2 heads have now appeared. One head trying to compensate for the ruined head, thanks to Blackhawk. I need all of you to make sanity rolls, please.
Whoa.
As this thing rushes towards you.
No!
Oh.
I'm taking my
first
next
sanity
shot.
roll.
At Ruth.
It is hurt.
Oh, nice, Martin.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I'm like, oh, that was fun. I kind of.
I thought it was cool, yeah.
You should get sanity back if you get an extreme success, I think, because No, I don't. You can't get.
No.
I didn't lose any. So yeah, it's fine.
What happens at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Blackhawk,
Yeah.
1d6, please. A 1d6 from Blackhawk as it's bomb rushing. It's aiming directly for you, Blackhawk, but all of you together. As Winslow goes to run to hit the volley of guns. Just 2. This creature, who's been severely wounded and is now just going off of preservation, sees what's hurting it and is trying to get to it. It pushes itself through the ring of fire, hurtling itself at all of you. I need everybody to please make a dodge roll.
Okay.
as the ribs extend in an effort to hit those that are farthest
Couple of
away.
close ones there.
God damn it, you guys.
Watch Martin roll. Oh,
I'm gonna
it's
use
only
luck,
6
but
luck, Martin. Yes, come on.
Yeah, I'll use 6 luck.
Points of
to-
luck.
I gotta give you guys less luck. I gotta give you less luck. You all dodge as these ribs, whoosh, which would have done a severe cut towards your torso, goes right over your head. You can hear a glistening, slick disgustingness to this creature that's also now on fire. It is fully ablaze. As it attempts to stop and turn, it's not the most agile thing right now. You hear a volley of guns as Winslow activates his little
We're not in
trap.
the path of that trap.
You are. However, this thing is now the size of a giraffe.
Oh shit.
It absorbs every bullet. It absorbs every bullet as it continues to burn.
All right, I think we need to take another shot.
Yep.
No, it died.
Oh,
died?
yes.
With all the, I guess, with
Well,
all the...
Blackhawk shot and did 17 damage with stuns
Yeah.
and freaking regenerative capabilities. I gotta change the specs of my
yes.
monsters.
That was a brilliant, brilliant,
Damn it.
brilliant first shot, Blackhawk. You saved the scenario. Like.
Disgusting smell hits the air. It's the smell of burning sugar. You will never again want sweets in your life as this form begins to degrade and begins to liquefy and shrink down upon itself, becoming a horrible goop that continues to burn, now looking more like sludge than anything else.
Continue to burn
The flames eventually die down to just a blackened point on the earth.
Pouring alcohol on it.
Aye, stoking the fire, getting some more wood to keep it going. You could just keep burning all night. Little fire.
Don't worry, at one point,
There's
Becky comes
nothing
over and stomps the shit out of it as well.
Becky's having a wee kick as well. Yeah.
Becky is now my favorite animal.
I love Becky. I love Becky the donkey.
Hey, fun fact, now that this is essentially done, donkeys will never die in my games because I love them very much.
Donkeys are awesome. I love donkeys. There's a donkey sanctuary near where I live, and it's cool.
But Winslow runs off. He grabs Ethel. Oddly enough, still alive. There is what appears to be a very large scar going across her abdomen,
She survived.
lengthwise. As he brings her back, holding her and crying. He said, I thought I lost you. I thought I lost you, Ethel. Oh my God. We gotta go tell the other girls. Now that this thing is dead, the rest of the herd no longer looks docile. Immediately, you hear neighing. Their ears are flat on their backs as the girls just take off. Winslow looking helplessly as Ethel also runs. And he runs after them, trying to explain to them that it's now safe. One second.
Bless him.
Bless him, aye, the fucking weirdo.
Winslow and his sisters, his four-legged sisters, run off into the distance. While our three, Ruth McGarner, the Ruthless, John Blackhawk, the Ally, and James Caldwell, our sugar daddy, stand around this blackened acre on the ground.
Sheep's never going to believe
Job
this.
seemingly done. You're able to hop back onto your horses, who you tied up so they could not run away, even though they were desperately attempting to. You head back on into town. It's about 2 a.m. once you get back into town. George's Saloon is open, because George's Saloon is always open. You walk in. One of the girls sees you come in, runs to wake him up. George, I asked you. Oof. What's you guys have a bit of a smell going on there. What's going on? Is that burning sassafras? What happened at the Spritz farm? It's pretty late at night. What you guys been doing?
Solve problems, it's what we do. Problem solved. That's all you need to know.
Problem that's been solved.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, it was, yeah, nothing happened, just,
It was a parasite.
Yeah, like just
Parasite.
just nothing.
Parasite.
I'm gonna say like
Parasite.
Pouring all of you
Really
shots. Pouring all of you shots. Getting ready to hear whatever you have to tell us.
I'm like,
Oh,
you two shut
I'm
up.
gonna-
Yeah, it was just a tiny parasite that infected some goats and one horse, but we got rid of it, and everyone is fine.
I request a sealed bottle so that I can.
I want the
take
whole
it and
bottle,
give it to
aye.
the chief.
Well, Ruthie's afraid of you, so that's not a problem. And Blackhawk, he views this as an exchange to strengthen alliances. As he just sits with you guys until the wee early hours of the morning, listening, trying to get more information out of you. The girls are awake now. They want to hear the tea. They want to hear the gossip. They're excited. Their customers have also kind of gathered around, just wanting to hear what happened. What kind of parasite? Oh my goodness! Is it gonna reach to the other ranches? Somebody has to go tell the Turners.
Well, if they have problems, we need to find out about it sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's really easy to fix them. All the people of the town don't need to worry. It's fine. We can fix it.
I grab one of the shots that I wasn't going to have, down it after he says that.
It tastes disgusting, John. You can't tell why these people drink this bullshit.
But you guys went a little bit insane. I didn't really care. I'm like, oh,
Three
that's
bit,
cool.
just
That
three
thing
bit,
transformed a tiny bit. Yeah.
But that is the end of Phantom Hooves. None of you got shot by Winslow. None of you hit a booby trap.
Do we get extra
I
points
couldn't
for
infect
saving
any
the
of
sheep?
you.
Yeah.
Save the sheep.
Fantastic
Yeah, do we have any
birthday.
points back for saving the sheep?
Fantastic
You
birthday.
did save the sheep.
Bravo
And the
birthday.
donkey?
Bravo everyone. Bravo Brian with that shot.
Managed
You
not to get hurt.
won the scenario with that shot. That was an absolute winner. Stay in your
I gotta
seats.
take away that. I gotta take that away.
Stay in your
That
seats
thing's
after
gonna
the
regenerate no matter
folks.
what hits it.
Stay in your
All
seats.
right.
You should
Sorry.
have been more like culture appropriate. You should have like a really cool bow and arrow, and then that wouldn't have done as much damage. But
You did.
No,
Yeah,
it does half the damage.
Right.
It does.
I'm going to do an outro, but
Yeah.
please stay in your seats because we are on
Okay.
Twitch and we need to do a raid after that. So
Oh, okay.
Yes.
thank you very much, Birdie. That was another fantastic one, and your one and done record continues.
Yeah.
100% one and done. Well done. That was a fantastic one. I love being cowboys. It was nice to unofficially go down darker trails. Brian, thanks for joining us, and Martin, thanks. It's
fun.
always a great weekend playing games with you, mate. It's been another great one. So, everyone who's watching this on YouTube, when it makes it there in about a week's time, this was the 101st one shot. Thank you very much for watching.
One
I am
shot's
RxOliver, and this is the gang. Good night.
Good night.